What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and I'm joined by the Jason Taylor to my Zach Thomas. EM, do I even have to ask you what's good, homie?
No, you don't. You already know what time it is. I'm extremely disappointed. Not the fact I'm disappointed the fact that we lost, but I'm so much more disappointed on how we lost. Got pushed around again. It's disturbing. So let's get it, bro. Let's get it.
Well, it's crazy too because if you look at our keys to victory that we posted for everyone, we wanted to establish the run, and we really couldn't early on until they started going with that Gaskin-Breda combo. And then we couldn't stop the run, allowing a total of, I believe, 217 rush yards, 75 of those to Cam Newton. And the thing that I didn't like about Cam Newton's rush yards is a lot of them were big chunks where he could just easily slide after he gained.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which means nobody was around him.
Yeah.
Which means there was very little traffic around him.
Yeah. I found my thing that I pointed out in my notes, and we'll get into it here, is what I didn't like was he was getting chunk yardage, and in the second half, they decided not to spy him. Enough. Let's say that.
But what that tells me is that the lack of eye discipline on our defense and across the board. We'll get to Jerome Baker shortly. I'm going to assign a ton of blame to Jerome Baker, but we'll get to that shortly. But that is, there's plenty of blame to go around. The D-line, was non-existent. Christian Wilkins flashed at different portions in the first half, but he was on the back of a milk carton for the entire second half for the most part. Devon Godshaw, again, what have I been saying all season? We just talked about this the other day on the stream. To quote the late great Joe Philbin, it makes me that the interior of that defensive line, when you have the inconsistencies of Devon Godshaw and you have Jerome Baker as one of your primary off-the-ball stack linebackers, it makes me a little queasy. It makes me a little queasy. And how did the New England Patriots attack us? Up the middle, gashing that interior defensive line. Guards, David Andrews, Joe Tooney consistently getting to the second level, blowing Jerome Baker.
Tooney was killed. Tooney had a very, very good game for the New England Patriots today.
Absolutely obliterating Jerome Baker. And we're going to get to him shortly, but, oh, man, I told y'all, I've been saying this all year long. This is my biggest issue with this defense. The secondary played well. They played well enough, okay? But the interior of this defensive line, again, it makes me queasy.
Well, the secondary, first of all, they allowed 75 yards rushing to Cam, but they also allowed 155 yards, which is nothing. It was, again, what did I highlight what they were going to try and do if they established the run? I said they were going to do short, intermediate rhythm passing, and that's exactly what they did with the RPO game. We talked about this. Jerome Baker and Landon Roberts, especially early on, their inability to read and recognize the RPO game was killing us.
See, and also, what did I say about everybody that was clapping, and so they were so glad that we sent Raekwon McMillan out of town to the LA Raiders. Raekwon McMillan, as limited as he is in coverage, Raekwon McMillan would have helped. He would have brought some form of resolve to a lot of that, because his strength is diagnosing. He's a natural middle linebacker. I said this from day one. It hurt me that we traded him. It brought no comfort me the fact that he's not a Miami Dolphin anymore. But we needed him, a player like him in this game. His ability to diagnose, his ability to successfully engage and disengage, and he's just a natural middle linebacker. He's instinctual. He's good in terms of engagement when he's taking on contact. We needed a player like him in this game, and you saw clearly.
a perfect example of that inability to stop the run with Jerome Baker. He's either taken out consistently in this game when blocking gets to the second level, like Ian pointed out, and when he doesn't, on the flip side, he's misdiagnosing the play, especially in the RPO. And I can give you guys a perfect example if you're going to go back and watch the game. Go watch the play. He misdiagnosed when he didn't get taken out at the second level on a J.J. Taylor run with about 3 minutes and 54 seconds left. It was a gain of 11 yards on a 2nd and 8 on the Miami 41. And it was Eric Rowe and Noah Igbenogany are the ones who actually combined on the tackle. Mm-hmm. But if you want a perfect example, if you want a perfect example of what we're talking about with Jerome Baker, there it is right there. But, I wanted to say this to you, bro. I know we didn't get – and here, I want to also point out, guys, we highlighted how bad he was in coverage last year in this 3-4. Again, with 2 minutes and 31 seconds left in the first quarter on a 1st and 10 on the New England 31, Baker absolutely blows the coverage on Ryan Izzo, who had a 26-yard completion from Cam Newton. Thanks to, he over pursued the coverage, bro. I don't know how you do that, but he basically overran the route. He didn't stick with the pin, and all Ryan Izzo did was he stopped the route. He hung there. Newton hit him, and then boom, he was off to the races because Jerome was 2 or 3 yards to his right already. So,
and let's talk about I saw on Twitter the reaction to the fumble on the goal line that Jerome Baker caused. Let's talk about that for a minute. Okay. I would hope Jerome Baker would have hustled his ass off to make that play, because he was on a rotisserie grill on that play, because he got toasted. Absolutely toasted. He was clearly beaten. And all whoever the running back was, all he had to do was hold on to the football. It would have been 1st and goal, or he probably would have scored.
Yeah, Keneal Harry. It was Keneal Harry.
Keneal Harry. So, but they were highlighting. Oh, so.
But I agree with you. But thank God he's got that athleticism and that motor to allow him to be able to make up and make a high effort play like that. But you're right. You shouldn't even have been in that position to begin with.
If you can't, what good is athleticism to have if you can't apply it on the field?
Ask Kalen Ballage.
You know what I mean? What good is athleticism to have if you can't apply it on the field? So I told y'all I'm giving this Jerome Baker experiment to week 3. I guarantee we will see a drastic change. We will see a change by week 3. So yeah,
people are also he had 14 tackles today and 3 assists. So I know people are gonna use the tackles, but it's just we're talking about the small details. You know what I mean? Not the stuff that's just on the stat line too, right?
No. The most important details, because the most important stat was 217 yards rushing. You can assign probably 75% of that at the feet of Jerome Baker. So, man, no. It was just a lack of, like I said, bro, it was getting out. They got pushed around up front. And see, this is the issue that when they were talking about, well, if the line improves to keep Baker clean, we should see increased production with him in terms of the run game. But when like you just highlighted, when he is clean and he has an opportunity to make the play, he misdiagnoses too often, and we don't even want to talk about his point of engagement. It's ridiculous.
Like I'll say, I know people are going to look at the 14 sacks, the forced fumble, but I'll say this: to me, Christian Wilkins had a better game.
Absolutely,
to me, Christian Wilkins, and I will say this: that Wilkins sack that he got with about 10-20 left in the second quarter for a loss of 6, that was because of Emmanuel Ogbah. And let's talk about this for a sec. We'll go back to Christian Wilkins, but let's talk about Emmanuel Ogbah. That was a play where they stood Emmanuel Ogbah up in the 3-4 outside off the edge, like me and you were talking about how we thought and projected him to be. And that bend, that athleticism that we talked about, you know, he got around the edge and he forced Cam to start to climb the pocket. And when Cam started, and like I've said before, Cam can't climb pocket very well. Point being right there, started to climb the pocket. He slipped, and Christian Wilkins got that stand-up. He got that cleanup sack. But were you disappointed that they didn't continue putting him out there when they – like even a little play like that, yeah, Wilkins gets the stat line, but that doesn't happen if Ogba isn't outside.
Exactly.
And me and you were talking privately throughout the game that when he was inside, he looked out muscled. And
he did.
And talking about the girth and why you wanted girth.
That's why when the initial depth chart came out, I highlighted it shocked me that they would have him on an interior in a 3-technique role. Okay. He's 275 pounds. That's too small, in my opinion, for a player to be deployed primarily in that role, especially when you're talking about the emphasis on run support. Okay. And my preference is, in terms of profile, is I want to have a guy 295 and above. 295 should be the minimum and above. Because if you look at the better interior 3-4 teams, New England is one, the Baltimore Ravens, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have that they minimum on their three down linemen are minimum 300 plus pounds minimum. So I don't know why they opted to deploy him. I guess they thought maybe he could hold up. He could hold up and run support. Now again, keep in mind this is one of the better interior offensive lines in all of football. We highlighted that on last stream. Keep that in mind now. Now I'm not ready to jump off a cliff just yet. But me personally, I would have rather had him in a stand-up outside linebacker role as opposed to deploying him on the interior. But we'll see. But you saw the difference in terms of when him being the primary edge as opposed to being deployed on the interior. You saw the improvement in run support. Okay, so I don't know what the again, to me, in my opinion, that we'll see how it plays out again. I'm not ready to go jump off a cliff yet because this is one of the better interior offensive lines in all of football. We've been consistent about that. So, I mean, man, I thought we were outcoached in a lot of ways. Like when you saw into the second quarter, we were continuously getting gassed, right? In the run game with the RPO, Cam, the running backs, et cetera, et cetera. Why do you wait to the end of the third quarter to start crowding the line of scrimmage? You know what I mean? Or wait to the second half to start crowding the line of scrimmage and taking that away from New England. I don't understand that. That's lack of coaching to me. They should have been crowd after the first quarter. I would have gave it to the first quarter max. When I saw that these guys could not hold up in a more traditional format, I would have started to crowd the line of scrimmage, deploying 5 and 6 guys to the line. I would assign 6 guys to the line of scrimmage. I don't know why do you wait until the end of the third quarter to start doing that?
Yeah, because it showed right away that Cam couldn't even diagnose it. He was just running with what was being called in. He wasn't even audibling it. There was a few RPO where we had 6 men crowded on the line. And he just decided to run with it.
Yeah.
He didn't check the playoff. He didn't audible anything.
And to be honest with you, that should have been the approach from the first starter, from the first quarter. That I would have taken. How good that offensive line is. You've been there. I'm talking Flores. This is to Brian Flores. You know how good that interior is. You know how good that line is in the run game. Okay. That would have been the approach. I would have crowded the line of scrimmage and forced Cam Newton. I would have played bump and run, press man coverage all day long and forced Cam Newton to make consistent, tight window throws. If you beat me that way, hey, I'm going to tip my cap to you and we're going to move on to the next game. But you don't deploy that. You do not deploy that strategy until the third quarter. It makes no sense to me. So again, lack of coaching. In this particular game, there's a lot of blame to go around. And you can start with Brian Flores as well. So, man, I'm disappointed the fact that we lost. But I'm more disappointed on how we lost because I'm not necessarily paying attention to the point total. Okay? If they don't get this run defense issue fixed and cleaned up, and I'm talking about immediately, Man, I mean, it's going to be a long season. All of this optimism that we had, all of this hope, all of this hype. I mean, it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be a long. This season will be over quick, bro.
I said 8-8. I wasn't one of these people gassing up a wild card spot.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying for me as well.
So yeah, that's why I lowered my expectations because like I said, the first half of the season, it's going to take time to gel, especially with that offensive line. Let's talk about that for a sec. So, Austin Jackson, for the most part, there's only 2 plays, and I'll highlight them for everyone so y'all can go back and watch it yourself. There were only 2 plays where I thought Austin Jackson got beat, and that was with about 5:15 left in the first quarter. It was a 2nd and 9. And Winovich blasted by Austin Jackson for a loss of 2 on a Howard run. But it's also when I started to pick up that Kinley did a poor job of pulling to the left when he was asked to. And then the only other play where I thought he didn't look very good in terms of our boy Austin Jackson here was later on Adam Butler, who I will say Adam Butler had a huge game for that defensive line. When he almost got a sack, it was when Fitzpatrick stepped up, but he shed off Karras as Fitz steps up. And then on the next play, Derek Rivers beats Austin Jackson. He literally got Austin Jackson down to the ground. Then Eric Flowers came over to help out, and Eric Flowers got basically beat with a quick swim move by Derek Rivers. He was in the back, and then he was in the backfield, and he sacked Ryan Fitzpatrick. Those were the only 2 problems I saw for the most part, especially like we highlighted when we talked privately, even with that Jordan Howard run. That Jordan Howard touchdown run.
That was behind Austin Jackson. Yeah. And I thought he played well for a rookie. I get his draft status and everything. I understand he's a first-round pick. But for a rookie in his first game, I thought he played well from a physical standpoint as well as a mental standpoint. You didn't see breakdowns on his end in terms of communication. You didn't see breakdowns in terms of him recognizing what Bill Belichick was throwing at him. Because, they're as unconventional as it gets in terms of –
You know what I was going to say, too? You were talking about unconventional. Guys, on that touchdown run by Jordan Howard, Robert Hunt was used as an extra tight end in the 22-man personnel. That tells you, Robert Hunt was out on the field for that touchdown run, guys. And I just wanted to highlight it. If you watch the first 2 attempts, they were going to the right, and they weren't getting it done with Jesse Davis and Solomon McKinley. And specifically on that second goal attempt with about 11-13 left, Kinley got beat bad by Butler trying to pull again, trying to pull to his left. And then next play, they ran it behind Austin Jackson. They brought Robert Hunt out for that 22-man personnel. And, buddy, they walked in unscathed.
But, again, lack of coaching. We know Solomon Kinley's strong suit is not playing in space. Yeah. So why would you deploy him in that format? I don't understand that, especially on the goal line. You know what I mean? You need guys that are quicker. You need a quicker lineman to get to his spot, as opposed to. And much as I love Brian Flores, but I just think there's a lot of blame to go around to assign on this game, and then you can start exactly at the top with him.
Okay.
So
shout out to D82 for the $5 donation, and then shout out to D82 for a second $5 donation where he says, "Yes, EM, I agree. He surprised me. Jackson played really good." You know what? And this is what I want to keep going with here. For as much as we struggled in run protection until Gaskin and Breda came in, because Howard was averaging like 1.2 yards per carry at one point. It was worse than Kalen Balaj. And then Breda and Gaskin came in. They were running harder, more determined. If the hole wasn't there, they were finding a way to either create a hole or get skinny and fit through that hole that's closing up. Bro, I got to say, for as much as they struggled at times in run pro, I was very, very impressed with the pass pro we got today and the time Fitzpatrick had to sit back and pass and make decisions. That that
very encouraging.
In game one against that defense, combined, that is very, very encouraging. We shore up that run pro, and it can get to the level the pass pro was today.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, it's going to be something good here.
I am very encouraged what I saw from a pass protection standpoint with that offensive line, because we were consistently in third and long situations throughout the entire game. And, I mean, for the most part, Fitzpatrick went untouched. I mean, he had time to survey the field. He had the time to go through his progressions. I mean, one's not there, two's not there, three's not there, then come back to the check down. How many did we see that at any stretch of the season last year?
Yeah.
So I'm disappointed in this game overall, 100%. But there are some encouraging things you can take from this game to build upon, moving forward. And the pass protection that we saw today that gave him time, that is one of them.
So great one, DeVore asked, and we'll get into this a bit further. Is it Tua time yet? No, sir, because the first interception, Preston slips. That probably doesn't happen. And then that third interception, the second was on Fitz. He didn't see the hanging corner there. Safety. It was Terrence Brooks where they had him playing in a linebacker role, and you didn't see him hanging underneath. And then the third interception, and we'll get into it in a bit here, you could make the argument that was a pass interference on Gesicki in the end zone that J.C. Jackson ended up picking off, but that would look like an pass interference to me, which would have been their fourth DPI in the second half, and that should have been on Jawan Williams, but they got away with it. And then Dolphin 82 says, agree, reason. Holy moly, that was surprising with how good the pass protection was today.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Fitz played a bad game.
He brought us back. Let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest here, okay? The defense, we needed them to hold them to a field goal on that last drive. That was your time. If any time was going to step up where you're going to start getting them in third and longs consistently or shutting down that run, because, we had some third and sixes, third and eights. I won't take that away from them. But that was the drive where we needed – put them in a position where it's just 6. You know what I mean?
Ryan Fitzpatrick did not play a bad game. He had one critical error, and that's the one where that safety was playing that robber role in the middle of the field, and he stared his receiver down and didn't see him, and he picked him off. To me, not noticing a robber when you're throwing an in route to Isaiah Ford going into the middle of the field. And you're staring him down. You're staring him down. You know what I mean? You're staring him down.
Yeah, that was a terrible. That second interception was a terrible throw by Fitzpatrick.
And you know what? It happens. But if you look at the first interception, the Preston Williams pass, he did an outstanding job of anticipating, because the ball was in the air before Preston Williams even broke to his route. The ball is where it needs to be. The ball placement was flawless. The timing, the anticipation was flawless. He just slipped.
Ian's making a point there too, because I want to point it out, because people are like, because even ball game hit me up, said shouldn't have made that throw. Here's your problem with that, okay? If you go back to what I think it would have to go back to, you'd have to go back to the first quarter. You'd have to go to where I think Parker beat Gilmore out of the slot for 12 yards. And then Preston beat Gilmore on like a comeback route or something like that for like 18 yards. It was either a comeback or like a little, I think it was a comeback route I think it was a comeback route for 18 yards. Other than that, every throw was pretty much a tight window throw today.
Every throw. They had to resort to manufacturing separation for their wide receivers. They had to resort to bunching formations, stacking formations off the line of scrimmage, because nobody could get separation. Once Devontae Parker went down, no one could separate.
Yeah, guys, let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. Guys, Devontae Parker may have re-aggravated the hamstring injury that we've told you guys he's been nursing since training camp. So that's something to monitor as the week goes on. But EM is right, especially when Devontae came on, that big body, Because, I highlighted even they were using him in the slot, the boundary, just like I told you guys they used him last week in week 17 when he beat Gilmore, when we had that discussion weeks back. Anyways, EM go on about how when you take that dynamic of a player out, it's basically Preston and Gesicki, that matchup we told y'all to watch against everyone else. That's basically your game breaker.
And the lack of consistency in the run game. That's why I thought the run game was going to be huge. It was going to be paramount in this game. Because, and you saw early on, Devontae Parker was making plays. Gilmore was having issues with him in the first quarter. It was evident. It was clear. So once he went out, I got concerned. I was like, damn, the fact that we're not able to consistently run the football, I said, well, maybe, I was thinking Fitz, maybe somebody can step up, like the game in December, Isaiah Ford, Gesicki, somebody else, but they just couldn't get open. They could not. I mean, you heard you heard Tony Romo consistently.
That's the reason why well, let's be honest, they should have had a 4 DPI on Gesicki with Juwan Williams, but that's why they had 3 DPIs in the second half with
exactly
how tight that coverage was, man.
Exactly. And you
look at that one on Gilmore with was it on Preston Williams?
Preston Williams
had him beat. Preston Williams not only had a step on him, he had the size on him.
Right.
So what he had to do? He had to wrap an arm and basically take the laundry.
So you saw. I mean, you heard Tony Romo consistently highlight that. But again, I knew we had issues when they had to resort to start bunching formations and stacking formations. I mean, 3 receivers on one side of the field. The only other team, in my opinion, that does that is the New Orleans Saints in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew we were in trouble in terms of receivers having problems getting open. And again, Fitz on that throw on that first interception to Preston Williams. I went back and watched that play twice. There was nobody. That was the play to make. There was nowhere else to go with the football. Absolutely nowhere. The pressure had started to get to him, and he had pressure in his face when he released the football. And again, the ball was where it should have been. It was perfect. He just fell. He tripped and fell, and Stephon Gilmore was right in the position because of the tight coverage, because of the small window. He was there to make the play. So if Preston Williams doesn't fall, I think he probably he makes that play. I mean, the coverage was so good. I mean, he would have been tackled immediately, but I think he at least would have made the reception. And then on top of that, and then the third and final one in the end zone. I mean, whoever was covering Mike Gesicki on that play should be brought up on assault charges. That is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Yeah, he should have been arrested and taken to jail immediately for the way he bugged that man. It's ridiculous. So why they don't call that, I have no idea. But that's not on Fitz. That is not on Ryan Fitzpatrick. The ball is where it should have been. Gesicki could not get off the press. He could not get off the coverage, and again, he fouled it. He held him and then passed it. I mean, he played Gesicki's head. He didn't even turn around and try to play the football. Clearly. So again, if you want to, in terms of the games Ryan Fitzpatrick played, you can only, in my opinion, he made one bad throw this game, and it was that one where he stared down his receiver and they made a play in the middle of the field.
Yeah. So let's get into some of the team stats here, bro. So New England ended up with 29 first downs to Miami's 21. They were 5 of 10 on third downs, and Miami was only 5 of 12. We didn't attempt a fourth down conversion, but they did, and they converted it. Here's the big one: 217 rush yards to 87 from Miami Dolphins. And something for everyone to keep in mind, of those 87 rush yards, 40 of them came from my boy Myles Gaskin. In terms of passing yards, 182 for us, 140 for them. And the reason why it's not 140 and not 155, guys, is because they deducted the 15 yards collected from our 2 sacks. So we got more pressure. We got 2 more sacks in them. I did notice the pressure from them was limited, and we highlighted that 1 sack earlier when we were talking, right? So Yeah, yards. They had 357 total yards to our 269. We obviously had 3 interceptions to their 0. We averaged about 50.7 yards per punt. They averaged 39.7. We each had 3. We had 4 penalties. They had 3, but we had 12 less penalty yards as they had 47, and the Miami Dolphins had 35. We had 1 less fumble loss as they had 2, and we had 1. But again, we lost that. We lost that turnover battle, and one of our keys to winning was protect the football, especially on the road. And 3 interceptions and a fumble lost, 4 turnovers to only their 2. You're not going to win a lot of football games. Doesn't matter who you're against. And then here was the big thing: time of possession, 34 minutes, 53 seconds for New England, and 25 minutes and 7 seconds for the Dolphins. But that's kind of a lying stat in a way, EM, because in the third quarter, the Miami hit and 25 seconds. It was because of the fourth quarter and our possession time in the fourth quarter of why that looks a little bit even more even than what it really is. But that third quarter, they took the ball out of our hands with that one long drive, and they stuffed it down our throat with a touchdown. It hurts when you not only lose that time off the clock, but when they also finish it by putting 6 and then the extra point on the board as well, right?
What did I say on the last stream? I said the biggest Miami needed to avoid New England winning the the time of possession game, controlling the pace of the game, controlling the flow of the game. That is what Miami needed to stay away from. And the only way you do that unless if you're running the football. And I knew 100% this would be the approach of the New England Patriots. And again, like I said, man, it's just the uncertainty on the interior of this defensive line on the first and second level. It's concerning. Now, again, I'm not ready to jump off a cliff just yet because, again, New England is one of the better interior offensive line teams in the entire NFL. So hopefully they can get this. This is an anomaly, and we won't see this 200 in terms of yardage total. We won't see 200 plus yards again this year, hopefully. But 217 yards rushing. That is just flat out domination up front. That's what that is. And I get Cam. Cam gave you 75 of that yardage total. But again, you have to stop if you take the R out of the RPO, it's non-existent. Everything is built off. The run pass offense is built off the run. So that should have been the primary. That's why lack of coaching in this game, I have to assign a lot of the blame to Brian Flores because you wait until the third quarter to crowd the line of scrimmage and commit more resources to the line of scrimmage. And he put the ball, he forced Cam to be precise and defeat and make tight window throws in the second half. That should have been a strategy from day one.
Yeah.
I mean, since the first quarter. I don't understand. Why do you wait? So it was a cluster, all the way around. But we just got flat out pushed around. At the end of the day, there's no way around that on both sides of the football.
So here we got some of the individual stats, guys, and they had 217 collective yards, and they averaged about 5.2 yards per carry, and all 21 points came from backfield, and their longest was only 23 yards. It was chip away, right? So we got Cam Newton had 50 carries for 75 yards. He averaged about 5 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Cam Newton didn't really do much through the air, and this is why we said stop the run and make him feel uncomfortable in the pocket because he was only 15 of 19, 155 yards. He only averaged 8.2 yards per attempt. But then you got Sony Michel had 10 carries for 37 yards and a touchdown. He averaged about 3.7 yards. His longest was 7 yards, and Cam's longest was only 12. Rex Burkhead had 7 carries for 32 yards. He averaged 4.6 yards a carry. J.J. Taylor was huge on that one drive. They let him loose. He had 4 carries on that one drive for 28 yards, and he averaged 7 yards per carry. Julian Edelman on that end around, bro. That end around that no one saw and faked,
that killed him.
Everyone out.
That was a dagger. Right
yeah,
there.
that one hurt. He managed 23 yards on that end around. And then James White, again, 4.4 yards per carry on 5 carries for 22 yards, man. You got, your lowest per carry is 3.7 yards. You know what I mean? From one of your running backs, where everyone else is averaging between Rex, JJ, and James White, they're averaging over 4 yards a carry. I mean, then you go on the flip side, things really didn't start to develop until, Gaskin and Breda took over. And what's funny is before they started to kind of take over a bit, I told EM directly, I said, we need to give the ball to Breda and Gaskin a little bit more. They did, and Gaskin and Breda both averaged 4.4 yards per carry.
Yeah.
Gaskin had 9 carries for 40 yards. Breda had 5 for 22. Ryan Fitzpatrick had 5 for 18. But the concerning is the power guy, Jordan Howard, had 8 carries for 7 yards, managing to cut the Kalen Ballage record in half to 0.9 yards per carry.
I thought Myles Gaskins played well. I thought he ran.
He's running hard and determined, my friend.
I thought he ran with excellent pad level. I thought his vision was good. I thought he made play. He did well in the passing game as well. He had that one big, I think a 12-yard completion, on that wheel route, in the third quarter, I believe. So I thought he played well. But we just got in a situation where we were behind. We were behind, and we could not stop their running game when they got on offense, because they're just controlling the clock, controlling the pace of the game. And again, once you get behind, you don't run to get back in the game, you throw. So that's why we had to abandon the running game at that point. In the second half, you're down 10 points. Again, you have to put the ball in the air to catch up. So I thought, again, this is another something encouraging that we can take away from this game, because clearly all the reports that we heard this training camp of the improvement from this player, it's translating. And that's very encouraging to hear moving forward, because he looked like the best back on the roster today. He really did. I know it's a small sample size, but when he was in pass protection, okay, he looked like the best back in our running back room. He did. So again, it's encouraging to see all the improvement he had in training camp, the offseason, translate. And he might even be our number one running back moving forward. Reason I would not be surprised if Flores makes that move, because you saw the difference in tempo. And I just didn't think he was that good of a receiver out of how good he is in open field in terms of making the initial guy miss. He's a very shifty running back, low center of gravity. He's small in terms of his base, but you see how big how thick he is in the upper body.
Yeah, he's wide up top.
So yeah, man, he looked like the best running back we have right now, and that's a good sign, because you see the impact he made on his game. Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
And I told y'all, I said, be on the lookout for Gaskin before training camp started to. Not only, I said he'll probably take Balage's job, but I said if he finds what he was able to do on his college tape and translate that to NFL, it's going to be a scary, scary thing.
You see,
Damian D donates $5. He says, I'm sick of struggling to stop the run. Tim Bowens ain't walking through that door. Get physical, D-line, fins up.
I agree 100%.
We'll be dropping the
link.
Shout
out to you, homie.
In the next 15 to 20 minutes. That link will be dropping in the chat, guys.
Shout out to you, homie.
But
But yeah, that's definitely something encouraging we could take from this game. But yeah, man, it's disappointing to get all the resources that they committed, and I look at the impact that Raekwon McMillan could have had, because even with all the negative
in the run game, today's
in the run
game needed Raekwon. Today's
exactly. But even with all that being said, we were still in the game.
Let's be honest.
We were still in the game.
Let's be honest. Raekwon today would have been a 3-down linebacker.
Yeah, exactly.
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 I do want to highlight, though, before Parker went down, he had that beautiful tight window catch against Devin McCourty. Preston beat Gilmore in coverage for about a 20-yard gain on that drive that ended in a field goal. Jackson, that's when Jackson started to look like he was really settling in that second quarter. With the way that run game, we couldn't stop it. And then by the way we couldn't get the run game going in the first, when Parker came out and we knew he wasn't coming back in that second half, man, I just didn't have a good feeling in terms of, us putting points on the board. But another thing I wanted to highlight, bro, we talked earlier about they ended up doing what I thought they would do, which is short, intermediate, rhythmic passing when they were putting the ball. He didn't attempt one throw over 20 yards today. Okay? I want people to but Cam Newton did not attempt one ball over 20 yards today. When you look at how they went to that short rhythmic passing, didn't you notice one thing, bro? Stayed away from X today. The only one they targeted when they even thought of going to the boundary today was Byron Jones, and every time they targeted Byron Jones, if the ball was completed, he made the tackle right away. But they didn't even really think about going towards X today.
Oh, no. X looked like, I'm going to go back and look at the tape this week, tonight and later on this week. But from what I saw of Xavier Howard in terms of his movement on the field, he looked like he was, Xavier Howard. He was sticking to his man, minimizing, just absolutely closing those windows that Cam Newton could have potentially had to make a completion against him. He looked like, the Xavier Howard of old. So that was another encouraging thing to take away from this game. But Byron Jones played well, I thought, as well. Cam,
he did. Sure tackles and completion around him. It was a sure tackle right away.
Yeah,
and I just want to say shout out to Jazz803 with $5 donation. He says, just missed my first Dolphins game since the 18-19 season. Didn't hear my alarm clock. The struggles of living on the other side of the world. Where are you, Jazza? Let us know.
Shout out to you, homie.
Continue on though with what you're saying, bro.
Well, yeah, I don't think I think our secondary overall played well from a communication standpoint. You didn't see the breakdowns that we consistently saw on tape last year, throughout the season. Bobby McCain was solid, and Brandon Jones was
Hold on a sec.
Pull those stats up for me.
we found out the source of Havoc 1. Shout out to Australia, because Jazza803 is from Australia. So really? Shout out to Jazza803.
Shout out to you, homie.
Yeah, Brandon Jones. Let's go over the receivers first before we get into defensive stats here for a sec. And this is when you look at the receiving guys. Devontae Parker, 4 for 47. Preston, 2 for 41. Gesicki had 3 for 30. Gaskin had 4 for 26. So, he had the most total yardage that wasn't a quarterback on our team. Jakeem Grant had 3 for 25, including one where he broke a big, huge tackle and ended up getting us a first down. Isaiah Ford, 2 for 13. Patrick Laird had 2 for 9. No sign of Mac Hollins. Julian Edelman had 5 for 57. N'Keal Harry had 5 for 39. James White had 3 for 30. Ryan Izzo had that huge catch for 25 yards where Jerome Baker, I didn't know whether he was in coverage or walking to the sideline to go get a Gatorade bottle because he's dehydrated, because the coverage was so blown on the play. And then JJ Taylor had 1 for 4. And then, okay, let's get to that defensive side of the ball. N'Keal Harry and Demario Byrd, they're the ones who had the fumbles. N'Keal Harry is the one who lost it via the touchback from the Jerome Baker strip. And then Ryan Fitzpatrick had 1 fumble as well. But let's get into the defensive stats here. So Jerome Baker had 13 solo tackles, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for a loss. I believe he also had 3 assists. Brandon Jones, 7 tackles today for the Miami Dolphins, and the floor is yours, my friend. A guy who I told you on film, he made a lot of good plays out of the slot, and you could use him as that high linebacker when you go heavy defensive back sets. And they weren't afraid to use Brandon Jones today, my friend.
And it's before I get to Brandon Jones, but Jerome Baker's his totals today, that had to be the most unimpactful 13 touchdown total in the history of the National Football League. I mean, to be honest with you, it's ridiculous. But he
also had a couple pieces of yellow laundry to go with him as well.
Absolutely. But Brandon Jones was a pleasant surprise for me in two ways. Number one, how much he played. I had no idea he was going to play that much. And two, the kid, I text, we talked privately, and I told you, I said, he looks like he belongs. The game wasn't too big for him. He was, you didn't see breakdowns. You didn't see deer in headlights. When the play was in his area, he quickly he diagnosed the play and responded appropriately and made the play.
And that roughing the passer penalty he had.
That was whack.
Those hands were high on the pads. Those were not on the field.
Right. That was ridiculous.
And Cam, like the you know what he is. Oh, can't get out of here.
But I thought he played really, really well. So I'm shocked that because I didn't notice Eric. Again, I'm going to have to go back and look at the tape, but I didn't notice Eric Rowe at all in this game. I mean, I don't know, man. Again, you heard positivity from him in training camp as well, and it looks like it's translating. So, again, we need to see a bigger sample size.
A bad game, and I know he had 5 solo tackles, and people see that. I thought Kyle Van Noy wasn't that great at all today.
I
thought Kyle Van Noy really struggled, especially.
I agree.
I'm gonna try and find out that one play. I think it was where Van Noy missed a tackle to stop Cam Newton on 3rd and 6, about 5:50 left in the fourth. They ended up getting the fourth, and Flores challenged it, and we overturned it. But then the Patriots went for it and converted the play anyways, and then Baker took that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for pushing off the pile right after. But if Van Noy makes that stop, instead of it being 4th and inches, it's 4th and 3.
I agree. Yeah, he didn't have his best game today. He looked and what was puzzling to me is he looked out of place. He looked indecisive. He was undisciplined in terms of his eyes, diagnosing with and I mean, you don't normally see players like him that come from that, that type of structure in New England. You don't see those things, especially when you're in the exact same scheme. So there was, he struggled at setting the edge at times. I mean, he just looked like, he looked like the stage was too big for him. And that shouldn't be. You would think a veteran like him, you know what I mean?
Landon Roberts at times looked that way too, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Both of them. So, yeah, man, I don't, it's plenty of blame to go around. And, I highlighted Jerome Baker as well. Landon Roberts, I thought Kyle Van Noy, he did not have his best game. Devon Godshaw.
What did you think of Shaq Lawson?
I thought Shaq Lawson did Shaq Lawson things. What did I say? I didn't think he was going to make that much of an impact in terms of pressure the quarterback or his sack total, but he was good. He did his job in terms of setting the edge, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Whenever, the play, again, I'm going to have to go back and look at the tape, but whenever New England ran his way, okay, he was good at, edge setting and redirecting the running back, inside. But if you look at, again, the majority of their chunk plays in the run game, it came from the interior, not on the perimeter. So I thought he did Shaq Lawson thing. I anticipated when we got Shaq Lawson, his biggest impact would be in the run game. I said that from day one. So a lot of people's like, no, he's going to have double. No, he's not. I don't even think Alba will. But if there is a player that will get, and we talked about this before, that will get double-digit say will be Agba out of the two. But yeah, I thought Chat Lawson played. He played okay. He played well. He did his job. He didn't make any impactful plays in terms of like having influence on the outcome of the game. But I think he did his job, and that's really all you want, to be honest with you. But Kyle Van Noy, though, on that edge, man. Oh, yeah. That's why I was, when they came out with the initial depth chart, I said, man, why do they have?
Because he played a lot off the edge last year. That's why.
I get it, but his natural position is off the ball stack linebacker. That's his natural position. Mm-hmm. And I thought for sure the approach would be, especially early on, would be to have Agba as in a stand-up role and have Raekwon Davis starting on that D line as one of those three technique, defensive ends. That's what I thought the approach would be. And I thought he and Vince Vigo would assume that interior role, but we all know what happened to Vince, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But when they moved Kyle Van Noy to the outside, I said, well, okay, I can see, why they opted to do that. But, when you put Agba on the interior, if he can hold up and run support, it gives you more athleticism in terms of like the stunting and the twisting and the looping that they do in terms of trying to confuse the offensive line. You got a more athletic player in Agba, but he didn't hold up in my opinion, when he was in that role. He didn't hold up. He wasn't strong enough at the point, in my opinion. I just thought he offered little resistance to the double teams when they ran his way. Yeah. Very minimal resistance. So again,
another player I wanted to highlight here. Mm-hmm. If the defense wasn't getting so gashed, I would probably give him my game ball, but I'm not going to, was Christian Wilkins. Mm-hmm. Especially on that last drive to end the first half, where he had the tackle for loss on Cam Newton for 2 yards on 1st and 10 with about 18 seconds left. And then the next play, he defended Cam's pass to Ryan Izzo for an incompletion, something that, crazily enough, Jerome Baker couldn't do earlier on. But, Christian Wilkins, man, he was in and around the ball. He was effective in the pass game in terms of pushing back the pocket, and he was effective in the run game in terms of he was one of the only guys in the run game that was making plays at time. I think he was definitely one of our strongest defenders today, and definitely our strongest in the front seven. What were your thoughts on what were your thoughts on him today?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I thought he played well. Especially in the first half, he disappeared a little bit in the fourth quarter. Maybe that was due to fatigue because, the defense couldn't get off the field. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They couldn't get off the field. And again, this is a reoccurring thing we've seen that's plagued the Dolphins for the last, it seems like 15 years, that run defense. You know what I mean? And the Patriots, took advantage of that inconsistency on the interior. And I just think he got gassed, just like a lot of the players, bro. You know what I mean? And then once you do get New England off the football field, the offense can't sustain any drives because of the inability to consistently run the football and being behind and you having to throw the ball to get caught up. So I just think he just got gassed in the second, but you saw the impact in the first half and well into the third quarter. You saw his presence was felt. He was consistently resetting the line of scrimmage on his side of the football. They were just opting to run away from him. Mm-hmm. So Christian Wilkins, there will be no blame assigned to him in this game, in my opinion. But I agree with you. He played well. You saw the impact, the pressure. Even when he didn't, get his hands on Cam, he was getting consistent pressure, whether that be with Tooney, Shaq Mason, or David Andrews. He was moving them. So again, another encouraging thing to take away from this game moving forward, because again, like we said before, there's a lot of disappointment. I know a lot of people disappointed. I'm probably the most disappointed out of all of y'all in how we lost. But there's positive things to take away from this game. It's week one, it's the first game, but that offensive line, number one, in terms of pass protection, The way they held up, I mean, they held up extra. Jesse Davis, can we give Jesse Davis just a little bit of love? Can we send a little love in his direction, just a little bit? He was solid, rock solid, all day, all day. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the film, look at the tape, but he was solid. And again, the communication up front with two rookies on each starting for you on your offensive line, they played well. So very encouraging moving forward. And again, we were within a field goal in the fourth quarter with 200 and almost 220 yards they had on the ground. We were still within a field goal in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So that needs to get cleaned up. Obviously, that's the biggest issue on this team right now. Obviously. So it's good that, it's in our face. It's identified. We just need to isolate it and resolve it and clean it up as much as possible, as much as we can. So, and I think the first move to make is to get Jerome Baker out of that starting linebacker, out of that starting lineup. That they need to start there first.
So guys, my game ball, because this is going to be our segment, my game ball would have went to Christian Wilkins, even if they would have stopped them for field goal on that final drive where they scored and basically put the game out of reach. And because that defense was getting gashed by the run so bad, I can't give a defensive lineman a game ball because it was.
You better not.
So I don't know what EM's game ball is, and I can edit this band if he agrees with me. But my game ball, guys, is going out to Myles Gaskins, who had 9 carries for 40 yards. He averaged 4.4 yards per carry, 4 catches for 26 yards. And another reason is because when they started making him the primary focus of that backfield, we started putting drives together. Now, it could have been a coincidence, but I don't think it was because they mixed in Breda with him too, and it seemed that smaller scat back type of style was having more of an impact than the big burly power back that you would get from a Jordan Howard.
And you know what reason? You know what? Breda and Gaskins, I think at the end of the day, why the move was made to go with them, it's like they were seeing things a step faster than what Jordan Howard was early on. It was, he had like a case of Caleb Balaj-itis. You know what I mean? He was just, it was like, he was indecisive. He was tiptoeing too much. And again, you don't want to see a big bruising back have that kind of that level of tentativeness in a running game. And I think, but kudos to Flores for pulling him quick, making them not, keep staying with him like he did Caleb Balaj for 2 years. Identifying a problem, isolating it, and resolving it quickly. The move was made. You saw the increase in production between Breda and Myles Gaskins. They just seem more decisive. And again, but what my game ball goes to, since you gave it to Myles Gaskins, mine goes to the offensive line as a whole. Because I think they played well. They played well enough. They gave Fitzpatrick enough time to make enough plays to win this football game. And that's all at the end of the day, that's all you want your offensive line to do. That's really all you want at this level. And they gave him enough time to make enough plays. Our receivers couldn't get open. They just could not get off that man coverage. They just couldn't do it. So I even think, to be honest with you, our rushing yardage total was enough to win. It's just we gave up. We could not stop them in the running game, and our receivers couldn't get off that man coverage. Those were the two glaring issues what lost us the football game today. Lack of inability to stop the run, obviously, and they just couldn't. Once Devontae Parker went down, they just couldn't get off the man coverage.
Well, and we couldn't establish the run early and start opening up the offense. We didn't start establishing it till literally the second half. If we would have established it earlier, we could have put points on the board earlier.
I would say that. I could agree with that. But it's not like they were.
Let's be honest. If we would have came out with another 7 points in that first half, all of a sudden that final drive looks a whole hell of a lot different, bro.
Yeah, I agree. But I think, again, I'm evaluating the entire game. I think because again, even the lack of run support that we had in the first half, how impactful was that on the game in the first half? It was only down 7-3. You know what I mean? So
could have been up 10-7.
Yeah, it could have been, but they missed a field goal. But again, how in terms of the point total, how impactful was that lack of run support? It was minimal. But I thought once they established it in the second half, but again, we just could not keep them off the field. We couldn't stop them. Just couldn't stop them at the end of the day.
A different year and another slow start.
Well, it's not necessarily slow, bro. It's one game.
No, I'm talking about a slow. Last year, there were a ton of games where it bit us in the ass that we were off to a slow start in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
And
right.
we were second half last year, and now that's carried over into the first game, and we gotta kill that, man. So I agree with you because here's my thing. I agree with you. Did it affect the scoreboard immensely in the first half? No, but it affected enough where we could have been up by 3. It could have been 10-7 instead of.
Yeah, you're right. I agree.
Is all I'm saying, and those extra 3 points. Now we're only down by 8 in that final drive we're only down by 7 in that final drive instead of 10, right? So,
but
the offensive line, especially in pass protection, was far better than last year, though.
Oh man, I'm telling you, they gave Fitzpatrick enough time to make enough plays to win this game. If Devontae Parker, I firmly believe. Maybe we wouldn't if we couldn't stop them on a running, on a run, we wouldn't win this football game. But if Parker hadn't gone down, this would have been a much more interesting game, I think. Because again, with all of the issues that we had, we're within a field goal in the fourth quarter, a field goal on the road. So they just have things they need to clean up, just like any team. So again, I'm not ready to jump off that bridge just yet. I'm not ready to go ballistic just yet. But the issues I highlighted going into the season, it looks like, man, unfortunately, my prediction and my concerns, they came to fruition today, but they just gotta, what the problem is, you just gotta fix it. Period. If you don't, we'll have another 5-11 season next year.
And guys, I'm dropping the link. We'll open it up. If anybody wants to join, let's get this show rolling. Yeah, man. Difficult, man, especially when you take into, I just know I can already hear the people talking about Tua already. And when you take into the 3 interceptions, the first one, Preston Williams slipped on his route. Second, and then the third one, of course, we highlighted. You could have made a defensive pass interference call on Juwan Williams in the end zone.
With the lack of a running game, I don't think Tua would have made much difference in this game today. No, for sure. Maybe he would have scored the 2-point conversion just like Fitz. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
D82, what's good, homie?
What's good, brothers? How y'all doing?
What's going on, man?
Out here, bro.
That's a stranger right there. Where you been, homie?
Man, like I told you in the last podcast, man, Hebrew slave.
I hear you.
Hebrew slave.
I hear you, homie. I can relate. I can definitely.
I'm trying to grind like y'all, man. I'm trying to be popular like y'all. How about that?
No. We trying to be like you, homie. Real talk.
But I just want to put my little 2 cents in our game. We actually had a decent game. I know people expected us to win, but reality, no OTAs, no preseason. You gotta just accept it. Fitzpatrick did have a horrible game, but what's my surprise is the offensive line. I love the offensive line. I was surprised of what Austin Jackson did with the offensive line, how well they gelled together. I thought they were going to be horrible. Can y'all disagree with that?
They're really good. They're really good in pass protection for sure today.
D82 real quick. Why do you think Fitz had a horrible game?
You know what? I'll tell you what. The reason why Fitz had a horrible game, The first pass, the first interception, okay, that was not on him. But the second one, he had a wide open receiver on the left hand side.
Mm-hmm.
Wide open. Come on, man. Two.
I want to say it was Gesicki, wasn't it?
What's that?
Wasn't it Gesicki on that play, or was that the last interception? He was wide open.
No, the second interception wasn't Gesicki on the play. I think the third one was Gesicki.
Third one,
it was Gesicki.
The third one was Gesicki. Yeah, the third one was Gesicki in the end zone.
But look, like I said earlier, Fitzpatrick made one bad throw in this game, and it's that one where he stared his receiver down in the middle of the field, and that safety was playing that robber role on that play, and he stared him down, and he made a play on the football. But again, I highlighted earlier, the pass that he threw to Preston Williams, the ball was perfect. The ball was where it needed to be. He tripped and fell down. And Stephon, because the coverage was so good, Stephon Gilmore was right there where the ball was, where Preston Williams was supposed to be to make the play. And he made a play on the football. And then the end of the game, bro, that dude should have been arrested right then and there. And brought up on felony assault charges.
He's talking about Juwan. If you guys watch the replay of that final, the interception by J.C. Jackson, Juwan Williams even goes like this, after he lets go of Gesicki. He mugged him and Gesicki falls backwards. And what's crazy, guys, I don't know who's got kids talking in the background, but I'm going to mute you for just 1 second to make my point. Let me figure out. Oh, it's D82. Look at first good guess. If you guys look at what was the matchup to watch, we guys gave y'all Gesicki and Preston Williams versus J.C. Jackson, Jonathan Jones, and McCourty. And that final play came down to J.C. Jackson makes a play, and even though you could say there was defensive pass interference, Gesicki couldn't. So
exactly.
I mean, it tells you right there, that matchup we gave y'all to watch became even more highlighted when Devontae Parker was out. Mm-hmm. And that coverage. Somebody got some feedback in the background. Damian Deese, you got some stuff going on in the background, big time, bro. That coverage, again, you go back to that. What was it? That field goal drive where we talked about earlier, where Preston had, I believe he had the comeback route for 18 yards, and then Devontae beat Gilmore in the slot. But other than that, those are two of a few throws I can highlight in my mind that where guys were open and had legitimate separation. For the most part, that's, like I said, that's why there were tight window throws like there were, and defensive pass interferences there were, because for the most part, every pass was into a tight window.
Mm-hmm. I mean, again, I don't.
Michael ain't helping my ass either.
I don't.
Ain't you supposed to?
D82, get your life together right now. Yeah, go ahead, Todd.
I am disgusted by the run defense with everything we brought in, and the fact the refs in the first half let their corners manhandle our receivers 15 yards downfield, and it continued through the second half.
Yeah, it wasn't the one name we didn't hear today, and it pains me, was Raekwon Davis.
At all.
I mean, where was he? Did he play at all?
He didn't get too many snaps either.
Yeah, he didn't get on the field very much, bro.
But I think to a certain extent, you had, you know what you're gonna get from Devon Godchild up front. You can write it in before the game. You know what he's gonna give you, and much like last year, we couldn't really do too much against the run. But I think in general,
that's my part.
I think just in general for the game, it looks like the Patriots just had had a very focused plan as to how they were going to move the ball and eat up the clock and win the game. When I think on the Dolphins side, it looked more like our first preseason game. It didn't look like we were showing up with the killer, the killer game plan to win the game. It looks like we were just trying to not go through the motions, but just kind of get our basics underhand first. And to me, that's in general what the game looked like. I mean, giving up over 200 yards, that's killer.
We had two middle linebackers who were terrible in reading and recognizing RPO. That's exactly what was gassing us in the run game today. Landon Roberts wasn't making good reads. Jerome Baker, I agree. We already know what he is in the run game. Mm-hmm. So I'm telling you, today, for how Kyle Van Noy looked on the edge, even more reason to throw him in the now.
Terrible.
I mean, he looked very indecisive.
Right now.
Terrible.
I'll be honest, man. I don't know if
he'll get you those 14 tackles from the Mike spot. Anyways, he'll get those. Look at all decent middle linebackers get 8, 9, tackles. 10, 11 tackles.
Exactly.
Bro. Like, that's just how it is. So he'll get you that. But I would rather have communication-wise alone. Give me Van Noy and a Landon in the middle. Because the problem is you got a Landon, his first time basically running a defense from the Mike spot, and who's next to him? A guy who's, not exactly the ideal 3-4 middle linebacker.
At all.
So you got one guy who's doing it for the first time at a starting level basis, not as a guy coming in and taking snaps here and there, next to a guy who last year we highlighted in the run game and in coverage was a freaking disaster, bro. So,
and again, he was a disaster today as well. He was a disaster today in coverage as well as run support.
Yep,
a disaster. So people see the casual fan are going to look at his tackle totals and the fumble that he caused. And I was looking at the tweets and the postings on Facebook throughout the game. Baker is playing well. Enough said. I was like, damn, what the hell game were you watching? Please.
Looking at the tackle.
Beat on the fumble play.
I think he's a liability, and he's not a middle linebacker. He needs to play that weak side because he's that much of a liability against the run. It sucks, but I don't see how else. If you're going to start him, I don't see why you would put him in the middle. It doesn't make any sense. And
I miss Raekwon. We miss Raekwon.
Yeah, we needed Raekwon.
We absolutely. We know that the impact he would have had on
reason. EM. Can y'all actually professionally answer my question? Why the hell the Dolphins are keeping a Baker guy on this team? I just don't. I can't fathom it. I need to hear from a professional. I'm an okay fan, but I need to hear from the professionals. Why the hell is Baker's on this team?
I think it's like they are, infatuated with his athleticism. They think that they can coach him up enough to cover up and mask a lot of what he's deficient in. That's what I think is what's going on. But again, I don't think, at the end of the day, you saw his deficiencies front and center again. And when they were running, who were they running at?
Baker.
I told you this last year.
Straight up the middle, Baker.
When Tooney, when Andrews or Shaq Mason was getting to that second level, they were looking for 55.
Continuously getting to the second level too.
They found them every single time.
And I mean, absolutely blown off, totally wiped out of the play.
Hey,
God soft
8 yards, 9 yards, 7 yards.
EM, a 5'6" dude, the same height as me in weight, is running up the middle against a goddamn Dolphin. 5'6", 185-pound dude run up the middle. If y'all can't see there's a problem with that, I'm sorry.
And see,
this is why
And see, this is why you need a linebacker with the skill set in the run game, like a Raekwon McMillan. Because what did I say? Baker would have been the one to get traded if it was Raekwon McMillan. That hurt me to my heart because I knew. At least he gave you something. Baker gives you absolutely nothing out there. All he's good at is chasing plays 15 yards down the field. That's all he's good at.
You know what I said to EM? He's got 13 tackles, he's got 3 assists, and he's got a strip fumble. But when you add in all the laundry that came on the field today because of Jerome Baker, when you add in how badly he was misdiagnosing the RPO, right? When you add how bad he was in coverage at times, dude, the guy negates all the tackles and everything that he piles up with all of his stupid plays and his bonehead ability to read and recognize, bro. It's terrible.
Jerome Baker's value is chasing plays down 15 yards down the field and bringing the guy down. That's his value.
That's it.
Yeah. Other than that, that's it. Nothing. See, that's why you need a player. That's why I couldn't. It hurt me when they traded Raekwon. You know what you have in Devon Gottschall. You are opting. You started him. You know where he's deficient. He's too inconsistent up front and taking on double teams. He offers little resistance against double teams at that zero technique position. Minimal. Consistently moved off the ball. And you know that, but you get rid of the best middle linebacker again in run support that you have for Jerome Baker.
Dude, that's what
doesn't make sense.
Dude, Belichick, Tooney, Mason, and Anders were like, McMillan's gone. Godchaw's there.
Yep.
Run it up the middle, boys. Let's go.
And that's all they did.
The only one we know what's coming.
You know the funny thing is, even Cam Newton ran up the middle.
Yeah, but the only one along that deserves respect after today is Christian Wilkins.
Christian Wilson played like a.
He balled out.
He did.
He played like a first-round draft choice.
He balled out.
Answer me this. How does Jerome Baker blow coverage and allow a 25-yard pass to Ryan Izzo, but Christian Wilkins can get a pass breakup on Ryan Izzo in coverage?
I know, right?
I don't know.
Answer me that, right? Okay?
Reason you got to answer that yourself.
Jerome's so athletic. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Baker's.
It's that Rosen syndrome. It's that Josh Rosen syndrome. They're holding on to this. Oh well, he's athletic. Just like they were. Oh, he's a top 10 pick. He's talented. No.
What's up, y'all?
Reason.
I want to get my
Hold on, bro. Hold on. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, Ian, but Reason made a point a couple streams ago. What you rather have, athleticism or football players?
I want both.
I remember that stream.
I want both.
Reason,
I want both.
I know. No. I'm not knocking you, EM. But Reason said if you had a choice, would you pick over athleticism or football players?
Well, I was talking about the reason we had a debate on this, privately. Where I stand, I was talking primarily from a draft perspective. This is where y'all think I prefer athletes. No, I don't prefer athletic players over football players. I'm talking about from a draft perspective. The better athletes are the ones that get drafted the earliest. That's just the nature of the NFL. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying how it is. Athleticism, because coaches are so arrogant.
You stay like 3 restaurants. God damn. This motherfucker high as fuck.
Coaches think at the end of the day, we can coach up technique, we can coach up fundamentals, we can coach the mental aspect of the game. We can't coach, 6'4", 235 pounds and can run 4.4. But that's just the nature of football. So I don't agree with it. I'm just saying that's how it is.
I mean, we really missed Vince Spiegel too today.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's like the Hall of Fame.
Is this Todd?
Chris Carter said, ain't about the X's and the O's. Todd. It's about the Willies and the Joes.
I got a question, guys. Because, what I've seen from this game, I have a lot of takeaways from this game. But the two things seem to stick with me are the same issues that have been going on with the Dolphins. Yep. We can't stop the run. And issues from last year, we cannot run the ball. I'm talking about power, run the ball. The offensive line played solid. Don't get me wrong, especially in pass blocking. But we had to use our two small, speedy backs to try to, create some type of running game. Jordan Howard I don't know if he wasn't hitting the holes hard enough or what the case is. It's just we really couldn't create a running game with him. And we just got manhandled. Godchild got manhandled. At this point, like, put Raekwon in there. Let me see what the kid can do because Godchild's getting manhandled. We couldn't figure out the RPO. We know they're going to run heavy RPO with Cam. I mean, if you can look back at what New England's offensive coordinator did with Tebow in Denver, we know this is coming. And, we were totally unprepared. The secondary played great, especially Brandon Jones, the rookie. Besides that ticky-tack, roughing the passer, he played solid. I got to give it to Brandon Jones. He played solid, exhaled it down. I got some words about Fitzpatrick, but I'm going to leave that there.
I feel you, brother, but you got to understand, this is the first game. I know everybody's
These are ongoing issues.
Yeah, no, hold on. Let me make my point. This is the first game. I know a lot of people keep saying that we need to stop the run and all of that. This is the first game. No OTAs. No freaking goddamn preseason.
217 yards, though.
This is an ongoing issue, man.
Hold on, EM. Hold on. I understand.
217 yards.
EM, I understand. But it's the first game. Everybody is freaking losing their mind over this crap.
Because it's been going on for 10 years.
217 yards, bro.
Relax.
10 years this has been going on.
You give up over 200 yards at this level. That is concerning. I don't give a damn because we won.
Okay. Hold on, EM. I'm gonna break it down to you. You got half of your team on the defense brand new. You got half of your team on the offense brand new. What you expect is going to happen this year?
Half.
Who else gave up 217 this year?
Wait.
Your linebacker core is gone. Your linebacker core is gone except Baker.
Wait. Hang on. Atlanta Roberts comes from this exact.
Your linebacker core is gone.
Listen, this is not new. This is not new language for Atlanta Roberts. This is not new language for Kyle Van Noy. Okay, there's Byron Jones, and Raekwon Davis is not even a starter. But I'm sorry, Byron Jones and the two with Agba and Shaq Lawson. Everybody else, they got a high level of familiarity with this scheme, bro.
Your secondary?
Secondary played well.
Yeah, they played well. Well, hold up. What's well for you? Because the last time I checked, the first quarter, they didn't play well. The freaking coach had to freaking take him on the sideline and say, y'all need to step your game up. They didn't play well in the first quarter.
That was the run defense that was getting gassed. Like the Red Sea was opening up every time, and like players were just running through. Cam was running through. Everybody was just they were just gassing us. They were gassing us.
And two.
10-year going.
I agree with you with the new people, but the two people that were getting blown up were our starters last year.
Yeah, the veterans.
Yeah,
and see that's why. What did I say? The quote, the late great Joe Fielding. What did I say?
I hate when you say that. I so hate when you say that.
Listen,
I hate when you say that.
When the season, when free agency happened, I said, I'm telling you, man, please go out and get an anchor on that interior. We all know I love Michael Pierce.
You said that's what you were screaming about. Yes, you were.
But if you're going into the season with Devon Godchard your starter, and you don't have they have absolutely no depth at that position, none. I said it's making me queasy.
We got Buffalo next week. We're gonna have San Fran, Seattle with Carson and Russell Wilson. All this within the next 5 games. Good Lord Almighty!
I told y'all.
You know what? Listen,
I got one question I wanted to ask y'all.
The first 8 games, I said this consistently. The first 8 games are going to be a wash for that offensive line.
You're right, Reason.
Thank you.
Y'all were right.
Thank you.
But the O-line ain't play bad. It's the same.
It don't matter about the O-line ain't play bad, bro.
We've been having for the last 10 years.
O-line was not the problem today.
Defensive line. It's the same issue we've been having.
The offensive line especially in the first half, was not good enough in run protection, bro.
True. We did struggle running the ball in the first half.
Listen here.
But that wasn't the
Everybody
issue.
was concentrated on the O-line this year. That's the problem. Everybody was like, the O-line needs to play better to make the game better. The O-line needs to play better to win the game. No, it's not. The O-line wasn't the big deal. The O-line played actually good.
They played well enough.
But that was the big deal.
Exactly. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Let me my point. The O-line played well enough to win the game. At the end of the day, Fitzpatrick and them damn offense didn't show up. Point blank. Well, and I don't care what y'all said. The defense actually played decent because I did not expect Patriots to score only this much points at the end of the game.
They killed us on the ground.
They almost had 200 yards rushing.
They killed us on the ground. But at the end of the day, everybody was talking about O-line. 3 rookies, O-line. That's all I heard the whole goddamn season. 3 rookies, O-line. At the end of the day, our defense let us down, period. And if y'all don't see the big picture of that, then y'all should be scared. We put so much money in our defense, on our line, linebackers, and cornerbacks. And guess what? We still was getting crushed.
The secondary didn't let us down, though. I give that back. The secondary let us down. But the linebackers and the line let us down.
And that's what I've been saying. This has been a 10-year issue, man. What the hell? That's what I'm saying.
It goes hand in hand, though, bro, because it goes hand in hand because we went out there raw, bro. Like, look, and we're beating the same drum because everything we're talking about seems a little obvious. The run game sucked, this and that. But, bro, there's other phases of the game where, like, the run game contributes to the defense sucking when it's the first game and they're out there raw, man. I mean, these guys are learning on the fly in live competition against a real team. And the special team, it'll help out when Jakeem Grant goes backwards for 10 yards inside the 20. Inside the 20, and Matt Hack can't pin the Patriots at least on the 20. I'm sorry, inside the 10. Inside the 10, they're consistently starting at least on the 20. I mean, special teams and defense, I mean, all around, we're still a really raw team is what I saw.
And Stefan, I agree with you. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
But that's all I want to say. I want to speak my piece because I just didn't want to. Because Reason hit on a lot of stuff that I agree with, like the Van Noy missed tackle when Forrest challenged, and it was less than a foot. If he would have made the tackle when he had him, he would have had him like 3 yards short, man. It would have made a difference. You know what I mean? There's just so much stuff that you can depict from this game. Look. All I saw was that we are a raw team right now. We need you. It's like you went to the weight room and you want to go max out, but you didn't warm up, you didn't stretch, you ain't worked out for like a month, and you want to go bench press 300 pounds, man. That's all that I saw. I don't think that we're that bad. I definitely think that we're coachable. I just feel that we didn't have the continuity today. And I feel like there was a lot of stuff that contributed to the fact that defense looks so bad.
Look at all the things we've highlighted, Esteban, and we only lost by 10 points.
I agree with y'all. Yeah. I agree. I agree.
And also keep this in mind as well. That could just very well be a damn good defense, even with all of the players that they lost. That secondary is still intact.
Yeah,
it's still intact.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So again, that's why I said I'm not ready to go jump off a bridge or shit.
And not just that, man.
Don't do that, Em. Don't do that.
I was really looking forward to Howard being the X factor, and the dude couldn't break one tackle. Yeah. No. In that first half.
Eston, you can't have Howard be an X factor if the shit ain't even passing to him. I mean.
No, he's talking about
I did see he had a
Jordan Howard, the running back.
Okay, my bad. You got to say the first name, man. We got so much goddamn last names.
Yeah, that's right. We do have 2 Howards, bro. I got you.
Jordan Howard, though, I saw where he did have apparently he was having hamstring issues. So
is that what it was?
That contributed.
Yeah, they took him out.
I know one thing. I was very pleased with what I saw from. I know what we're getting in Matt Breida based off what he's put on tape while he's at San Francisco. But I'm very pleased with what I saw from.
But you know what, Em? Yeah, I'm very pleased in Gaskins. Gaskin surprised the crap out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the only
Because
one? Am I the only one who called this Myles Gaskin thing pre?
no. Reason. I'm gonna give you props. Hold on, Negro. Hold on. I'm gonna give you props. Just give me time.
No, what I'm saying is
Reason. No. Hold on, Reason. Let me get my shine.
Watch this kid in college, bro.
Reason did call it back in the day that Gaskins was going to shine. And Gaskins shined the hell out of it because Gaskins was down that he could not run through the middle. And guess what Gaskins did today? This mother effer ran through the middle all day long.
And you know what? A couple weeks ago in his Zoom session, Flores highlighted the fact how much stronger this kid has gotten. If you look at his body this year compared to last year, it's like night and day. So the only thing that was missing in this game was actual football strength, and he's resolved that issue. But he has everything you want in terms of intangibles from a running back. He has the vision, you know what I mean. He's got very good quickness. He's got good feet, a low center of gravity. He plays consistently behind his pads, so he's got everything. You know, all the intangibles that you want from a running back. He just needs to get stronger, and it looks like he's resolved that issue. And opportunity, but it looks like we have a player.
So my question is, EM and Reason, y'all prove it back in the day. He showed it today. Who you see as your number one running back in the future?
Oh, it's that. Well, as of right now, I'm not worried about 2 years from now. I'm looking at next week.
Miles
Gaskin looks like the number one running back on this team right now.
I'm going Gaskin and Breda. That's
man.
Yeah, I agree.
It seems like, you know what? It just seemed like today the type of scat back body type was working today.
And I love that. And I love that 22 personnel. That 20 personnel deployment from the shotgun when you had both of them playing on opposite sides of Fitzpatrick. Running them wheel routes out of the backfield. You saw how that was a problem for those linebackers. Huge problem. They're very good in space. Very good in space. So
how many y'all wanted to see Wilkins when we were down on that goal line, man? Get in that fullback.
I screamed it.
I know I was disappointed.
I wanted to see him
Good point,
Cam Newton at the end of the game. I was ready for Wilkins just to deck Cam Newton at the end of the game there.
I thought he was.
Each other's faces. Bro, how you talking hard? How you talking hard with that hair, bro? That's all I got.
I don't know. It looked like Cam was having a little bit of a meltdown at the end of the game, though.
Yeah, because Wilkins.
Who is he into it with?
Wilkins.
Wilkins.
That's why I said I was waiting for Wilkins to clock him.
He was out there.
Hey, what's up, Larry? What's up, K all day?
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Larry?
What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going up, guys? I warned you guys. Everybody was picking the Pats, and including me, but I warned you, don't disappoint. You know what disappointed me? Okay, the coaching staff. Okay, one of the keys I said they had to do was stay aggressive. They came out and did what the Dolphins of old used to do. Just pound the ball down the middle the first 2 downs for this first quarter. They disrespected the Patriots by doing that. The Patriots' strength on their defensive line is their big guys that stop the run. You're playing right into their hands. They opened up the running game, opened up when they opened up the offense overall. Fitz started to throw on first down. That opened up the running game in the second quarter. And this was the thing throughout. The other key to the game, you cannot let Cam Newton create downs and yardages, okay? And for some reason, the coaching staff didn't seem to realize that because they had nothing in place to either spy him or do something like that to keep him in control. I didn't get that, okay? Tony Romo was saying, well, they don't know what kind of offense. I knew it. They're going to run. I said they're going to run Cam Newton 20 times in the game, okay? I said it before. People were saying, no, Boston is saying they want to preserve Cam Newton. No, Bill Belichick wants to win, and he's going to do what it has to do. He has a limited offense, but one thing he does have as a weapon that's hard to defend against, unless you play to defend it, is Cam Newton running. Okay, that's what they did. And for some reason, it seems to have caught the Dolphins off guard. They couldn't handle it. They didn't have an answer to that. That's unforgivable. That's coaching. So, look, there were good points, okay? I'm upset. I'm not upset that they lost. I'm upset how they lost. It should not have happened that way. Okay, it should not. I said it right all day. I said Royce has to stay aggressive. He cannot. Well, I got this talent now. I can play, conservative football. No. You, especially against New England's defensive line, guys. They're big guys. They're great at run stuffing, and down in the middle. Okay, they're not the most quickest. You saw it when they went outside. It created problems for them, right? So what are they doing? They're running the ball right up New England. They say, I don't care. They're disrespecting New England. New England slapped them right back in the first quarter. That's what happened there. That's part of what happened there. The other part, guys. Hold on, guys. I have to get this in because I'm not going out because a lot of people here, and I don't want to give it. But I want to get this in. Be careful. I was very pleased with the way the offensive line pass protect today, but be careful. It's possible fool's gold. Hey, remember I said New England's weaknesses is that they don't really create pressure from their defensive line, and it came from the linebackers that last year that are no longer there. So, yes, they played very well, but they were playing basically a very weak pass rushing team. Buffalo will be a bigger test. It's just the opposite, especially up the middle with that Oliver. And
I think in terms of pass protection, the biggest, why I think they played well for the most part is because of the communication up front. True, you are correct. They do not individualize their pass rushers to generate pressure. They use scheme to do that. But what I saw was when Bill Belichick got exotic and started implementing a lot of the twisting, the stunning, the looping, the overload pressures, the communication was there. Right. And that was a concern of mine early on with two rookies on the offensive line.
But remember, these are elite players. Yeah, so, but I was great. By the way, guys, I'm going to hear from Skip Bayless and all that Austin Jackson the bus because he gave up a sack. He didn't give up the sack. That was what you call a coverage sack, okay? And that was Fitz. Had all the time in the world, and it started to collapse. They started running towards that side of the field, and that's how they ended up with a sack, the only sack of the game. Guys, another thing I said, right, Kyle? I've said it all along. I've seen Fitz in Tampa, okay? Because I get there. I saw most all of their games, right? Fitzpatrick, it's an amazing thing. Fitzpatrick always show up when it's in the best of circumstances for a quarterback. And we saw it today. He had no pressure the whole game. And where does Fitzpatrick?
But look, he wasn't tragic. He wasn't Fitzpatrick.
Well,
he only made one bad throw.
Yeah.
He only made one bad, but they couldn't get open. I mean, what you want him to do?
I know, but
I mean, they just couldn't get off. They couldn't get off. At the end of the day, we couldn't stop the run, and they could not get off the man coverage. Those are the two issues why we lost this football game.
So do we go after AB?
So one of the things I said also, and this last thing because you got a lot of guys here. One thing also, I said we had to get our running backs on the linebackers in passing. Okay, I don't think we even attempted to. I wanted to see Breida go out as he did in San Francisco, go out and become a wide receiver when you got a linebacker in, because you're right. You're playing into their hands. You got to recognize that they're tough in coverage. You got to beat the linebackers. I said that all along, and we didn't even design an offense to do that. Basically.
We don't have that San Fran talent.
Like I just said,
we have Burrito, and I would take Burrito with any linebacker at any point in time.
Larry, we just talked about that. I saw where during stretches of the game they were deploying a lot of 20 personnel, and that's two running backs, no tight end, and 3 wide receivers, and they were using them out on those wheel routes, and I thought that was a way they could exploit New England, and traditionally when you look at the issues that Bill Belichick defense has normally had, it is those type of teams that has those players, because New England generally is a bigger team. You know what I mean? And I thought that the approach early on was they were just basically trying to run over New England, and you're spot on with that. They try to run them over, and you generally not going to run over a Bill Belichick defense. You're going to have to spread them out, get them linebackers in space, and make plays through the passing game. But they didn't do that. They didn't opt to do that until midway through the third quarter. Maybe they should have. Maybe they should have took that approach like initially, maybe. But it's coaching. It's the lack of coaching, and I'm hopefully Flores is gonna have to learn from that.
Okay, and guys, one more thing. I'm gonna ask you guys your reason. Can you explain to us, because even I'm not how do you defend an RPO? Basically, you're saying they did.
You take away the running game. You take away because you can't have an RPO without an R, and the R represents the run game. It's a run pass option. Everything, and I keep telling people, the RPO is not some kind of foreign concept. The RPO is nothing but play action based out of a pistol or shotgun formation. That's all it is. It's not foreign. It predates Chan Gailey. It's been in the league for 30 years. So you have to, that's why the emphasis is on taking away the running game, because you don't have a pass option if you take away the running game.
Okay, cool.
Period.
Okay.
Yeah, but we tried that though, EM. We tried. I saw the linebackers were trying. The one take that I got out of that is you got to get the reps in, man. Those linebackers have to commit. I mean, they just got to be quicker to committing to the quarterback. You got to get them, man. You especially with Cam Newton, man. You got to get them immediately.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You got to disrupt that pitch if he's going to pitch it or throw it to somebody. You got to create some kind of disruption on that quarterback. You can't just let him freely make a decision.
Look,
and you got to blow it up on the D line. Go ahead.
No. But you know where the undisciplined comes in. You know where the undiscipline comes in play action is when you're gashing consistently the interior of a defensive line. If you're four linemen are holding up in the running game, the linebackers are not going to commit to the running game. They're going to sit back and stay in their passing lanes and commit to the pass option. That's why it's paramount to take away the running game.
Unfortunately, our four line didn't hold up the running game.
No. Yeah, I think the RPO, what I saw before the handoff, a lot of big holes. I saw a lot of daylight. And I was thinking exactly that. Somebody
daylight all day long.
Or whatever.
And you got to make the quarterback pay, too. It was nobody around Cam. Cam was sliding when he was going down. You have to put a hat on him. Make him pay. Make him think about that.
What was our key to victory right after stop the run? It was make Cam feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and we did not do that reason.
Okay,
he won't blow it up.
I'm gonna back out. And let you guys, because we got a lot of guys. I'm gonna back out, guys. Thank you.
All right, Larry.
Stay safe, guys. See you later.
But EM, do you agree that our defensive line was horrible this game?
Yeah, and that was my biggest concern on the interior.
That's why you wanted Michael Pierce.
That's why I want Michael Pierce. Exactly.
We ain't going to Mike Pierce, so you can give that up. This get it out.
I'm just now. Where do you go from here? Because look at the look at the power teams that we're facing. Your Buffaloes, your San Francisco's, your Seattles, your Denvers. Look at the power teams who are looking.
You my bro
now.
Well, Flores kind of showed you what the adjustment that he would make. He put in a 4-3. Like whenever every Dolphin fan was thinking about what the hell are we doing? We can't stop the run. He put 4 guys in.
No. He ain't gonna
stop it. That ain't gonna stop it.
Actually, it was a 5-2 formation.
Yeah.
He committed 5 guys. Yeah. He committed 5.
I gotta go back and watch. I could have swore I thought it was 4, man.
Nah.
I think originally when he first changed the defensive line, I think it was 4.
He was.
I'll go back and check. I could be wrong.
Nah, but he was trying to fool you. Nah, it wasn't a 4-3. It was a 5.
So my question to Brian Flores is this though. That's my biggest issue with him. Why do you wait until midway through the third quarter to implement that strategy? They've been killing us all first quarter and second quarter. They got the lead. They have a lead. Why do you wait that long? I don't understand that. That should have been the approach from kickoff.
He had confidence in players. You got
to be able to scheme if the game go along. That'll get you fired.
All right, get out of here and go back to work.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
All right,
All right, homie.
All right, bro.
Shamari, what's good, bro?
What's going on?
What's on your mind, bro?
I just felt like I had bad quarterback play.
So you think all 3 of the interceptions are on Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Yeah, because the first one he threw, Parker was open over there in the cone.
Somebody saw something different. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but he didn't technically make the wrong read if Preston slipped, right?
No, he didn't reason, but he saw something different. Actually, he was open.
Yeah, but there's also a difference when you got a broadcast cam and you can see the whole field, and when you're actually down there sitting in a pocket with it collapsing around you.
And reason, hence why quarterback Fitzpatrick don't have a rating like Brady as a 95. So,
well, because he doesn't have a broadcast cam? What kind of sense does that make?
He didn't see the field. He didn't see the dude open. His vision is limited.
He had pressure on his face.
What are you talking about? Do you even remember the play? The pocket was collapsing around him. He had to make the throw. He couldn't see that. He didn't have time to make that read, man. And that's why I just said, y'all can make that read because you have a broadcast footage.
Exactly.
You have a broadcast.
It's crazy because
it's one thing to be down there in the middle of the pocket with it collapsing, and you got to make your read in under 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, because he could have made that throw. He could have look. Preston was supposed to be there, man. So I gave him the benefit. I gave him the benefit of the doubt on that first interception. I didn't blame him for that one.
That second one,
I was like, all right. In my mind, in my opinion, honestly, in the back of my head, I thought, you know what, Tua could have made that throw, but I don't want to put that out there because I don't want that debate, and I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to start. I don't want to start the fire because in the community, that's already starting, man. It's already there.
What it is. But that second interception, we were driving right before half, Estefan. We were driving. That was momentum. And our defense stood up. But that hurt us, man. That killed. And that's the issue that I have with Fitzpatrick. But this is what we know about him. He'll kill you at the worst time. Fitzpatrick could come when momentum is building up. And it happened. I mean,
y'all have to take this.
But we still had chances to win the game.
Y'all have to take this into account as well.
Against the Patriots defense and against Bill Belichick, I would put money on it. You would have seen 2 to 3 interceptions from any rookie quarterback, given the context of this season in the first game against the Patriots.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, that's true. Went through picks today.
And again,
I'd rather die with Tua.
And again, listen.
It did look nice seeing him on the sideline, though, didn't it? When we were going through all that.
It was nice. Hey, hold on.
No, let EM speak.
Listen. We need to pump the brakes, okay? I'm disappointed. I'm with y'all in terms of how we lost. But you're forgetting that is probably the best secondary in the entire NFL.
Agreed.
I mean, come on, man. Look, listen. Let's pump the brakes. Y'all are ready to toss Fitzpatrick and start Tua. Tua probably would have thrown 4 picks today.
We don't know.
Tua Tagovailoa would not have made, in my opinion, I could be totally wrong. Tua Tagovailoa would not have made a difference in terms of the overall outcome of this game. We would have lost.
We don't know.
Or Fitz.
We would have.
But at the end of the day,
we don't know.
Yeah, we do.
We don't know.
I said we don't know.
Belichick's has never lost to a rookie quarterback making their debut, and he's only lost quarterbacks under the
time and a place for everything.
Reason. Can I get this?
None of us thought we was going to go into Foxborough week 17 and beat them with this playoff.
Reason. Can I get this?
No, you can. You can hold on a sec because you've been talking over everyone while they've been talking, and you need to stay off the liquor before you come on the stream. What I need to say to you right now is, yes, I do know that, because to even sit here and try and make that argument, Damien, you're talking about a rookie who's coming off with no preseason snaps, who has seen no live action. He's going up against arguably the best defensive-minded coach of all time, who, with what everyone thought was a bunch of jabronis, only held a starting quarterback of 15-plus years and that whole offense to under 12 points. But Tua Tagovailoa, the rookie with no preseason live snaps, would have come out and beat him. There's no way a snowball has a better chance of making it through the beginning to the end of hell than Tua Tagovailoa would have had at winning that game.
Well, that's true. And in practice, how many times did he go with first team? You know?
Hang on.
This guy was practicing with third stringers.
In addition to that, with a lack of a consistent running game and the fact that the receivers, nobody can get open.
And Devontae Parker
really
got hurt.
think so?
And Devontae Parker
he got hurt. You really think Tua? What possibly could have Tua done? I mean, really? How could he have? What impact could he have made on this game today? None. Just wasn't in the cards.
Yeah.
Just wasn't in the cards.
Oh, I say this. We don't know. He could have gave him a spark. Now, am I saying that the odds are that Tua could actually win the game over Fitzpatrick in those situations? No, the odds aren't in Tua's favor. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, Fitzy is what he is. He's a journeyman quarterback who's going to win you a couple of games, and more than likely he's going to lose you more. And eventually, the leash is getting shorter and shorter. Eventually, Tua's going to come in earlier than what we expect. It's going to happen.
He only made one bad throw today. That should have been a pass interference.
Yo, but it was a game. It was a momentum killing situation, homie.
But guess what? He put himself in a position. He put himself in a position at the end of the game to make something happen with that pass interference, that interception.
That's what he did by drawing those flags.
No. He didn't draw a flag in the end zone when there was a pass interference. And J.C. Jackson made the interception. That interception was not on Ryan Fitzpatrick.
No, that was a pass interference. Only the one I gave him was the second one.
Yeah, but
that's the one I gave him.
Okay, so at the end of the day, we're really gonna sit here and say one bad throw made or broke us winning the game. Let me tell you this. This is what coaches used to tell me. If you lose and comes down to one bad play, guess what? You didn't do enough to win the ball game.
I agree.
He wasn't the main reason we lost, but that interception and the timing of that interception killed all momentum.
I agree. I agree.
A snowball turned into an avalanche.
But it didn't.
He wasn't the number one reason.
But it didn't because we ended up scoring after that interception, and then we ended up putting ourselves in a position where if they would have called a defensive pass interference, we could have possibly scored a second time after that interception. So, it might have killed the momentum for that drive, but it did not kill or keep us out of the position of putting ourselves in a position to win multiple times after the fact.
We could have been up, homie, at halftime, or at least been down by one. That's on that drive on the second interception, homie. That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, but you also could have tied. You also could have tied the game if you would have got a flag.
True.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think debating Fitzpatrick is gonna do any good because we know what he is. We knew what he was when he came here. We know who he is when he does well. We know who he is when he does bad. What I'm more concerned about, and maybe this is, maybe no one else has really picked up on it because I think a lot of people are saying that Van Noy was very indecisive. But when I saw them running the RPO, I saw Van Noy over there setting the edge, funneling the work, either Michelle or Cam, into the middle. And then you see Jerome Baker getting swallowed up consistently. And, you see Jerome Baker getting all these tackles. He's getting all these tackles because he's getting blown 8 yards off the line. And he's catching guys side to side. So for me, I think Van Noy is there setting the edge, saying, you know what, you're not getting past me. I'm funneling the work through the middle. But what Van Noy doesn't realize is that ain't Dante Hightower he's funneling the work to. That's Jerome Baker. They have
Jamie Collins.
We have Jerome Baker, who I think personally, I think
kicked out today. EM.
I think Jerome Baker.
Jamie Collins got kicked out today.
Oh wow! I think Jerome Baker is kind of like the NFL version of like Jamal Crawford. He's just the energy dude. He ain't necessarily gonna be where you want him to be, but he's a dude like when you just want pure energy, he's a dude that you bring in. But I think that the problem is you got players, particularly in our defense, when you're looking at our run game, you got guys that are following their assignments, and you got guys that are freelancing, and it ain't gonna work out. Particularly with a guy like Jerome Baker freelancing, you're talking about a guy who's still, and I think this game made it very obvious, still cannot shed blockers at any level. I mean, I understand the coach staff likes him. I understand he has a positive attitude, brings a lot of energy, but during a lot of these RPOs, was he where he needed to be from an assignment standpoint? Was he? And even if he was there, was he being engulfed by the blockers? And, some of this goes on to Devon Godchild too, once again, funneling the work to where it needs to go. So, for me, it's just, it just looked like a preseason game from the Dolphins' perspective. It looked like a preseason game.
Raekwon McMillan was sorely missed in this game today.
And, Raekwon Davis, every time I saw him, he just looks different than everyone else. And I'm just wondering, is it just Flores showing a preference to give Devon Godchild the snaps based on prior experience, or maybe he can trust him a little bit more? But I'm looking at Raekwon Davis. He looks like a play breaker. Like, he looks like a dude that'll go in and do something. I mean, like I said, you know what Godchild is going to give you. You can pencil in before the game. But man, if in terms of just assignments, man, if this is Jerome Baker we're going to see all season, it's going to be a long season, because he is not an inside linebacker.
Yeah,
I hate to break it to everybody.
It's not it's just not a fit for his skill set at this point in his career, and I don't think he'll ever be a player where you can deploy on an interior of a defense that prioritizes being gap sound. You know what I mean? And he's just not that player. And I just don't understand, again, like, I think Flores we're going to see a change if we go up against Buffalo next week and we give up similar yardage total, by week 3, this Jerome Baker experiment will be completely done. But in my opinion, in terms of on the D line, I mean, what direction do you go in? Are you really that? Obviously, they're not that confident in Raekwon Davis being deployed primarily on the interior now, because they would have started him there. So, I mean, where do you go? And the lack of depth is concerning. I mean, it's concerning. That's why I was like, man, please go get a veteran or just bring back John Jenkins. Please. John Jenkins was more than serviceable last year in that role. So, man, I'm telling you, bro, with these power teams, and that was my biggest concern coming into the season. I hope I would have been proven wrong. But damn, 217 yards, 220 yards in game 1. You running out there tired. Why are you tired? This is game 1.
So, guys, Cam Newton was asked post game about the scuffle, and this is what he said. They said, what happened at the end of the game? He said, it's a competitive game on both sides. You just have to realize who you're talking to and just keep everything in the game. I realized, and he's talking about Christian Wilkins here. I realized I was talking to a person that's known for doing splits. So it wasn't characteristic of myself to keep going back and forth. But at the end of the day, it's football. And for me, no matter who it is, I play with a competitive edge, and I expect the other team to have a competitive edge as well. And at the end of the day, anything outside of that, it's just all about respect. I don't disrespect nobody, and I wouldn't want anybody to disrespect me. But yet at the end of the day, we got the thing that was most valuable today, and that's the win. They asked, did they take your chain off? He said, I still got my chain. I got 2 of them. They were reaching for my chain, though. And I think that kind of got up under my skin. But yeah, through it all, man, listen, I do not want nothing to be taken away from a great team game that we did have. And I don't want to be selfish to kind of focus or dwell on that. I think for us as a team, or me personally, a lot of tempers can flare. And I was just teasing with Coach, just letting him know that the College Park almost came out on me. Yet through it all, it was fun and games, and it was expected.
I believe that's what they call bulletin board material.
Good point, Avic. We should be ready for the next game.
Known for doing splits. Wow.
I believe that's what they call bulletin board material.
Hope Wilkins break his leg in Miami, man.
Shots fired.
I'm sorry to say that on y'all podcast.
Shots fired.
So it's one thing to put it up on the billboard. It's another thing to actually go out and respond on the field to it. So that'll be good to see.
They need to punish Cam if he makes it to.
Well, I mean, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I don't think the game plan they had for Cam week 1 is going to be the same game plan week 10. Is Cam really able to take? I understand week 1, you do what you want to do, but when you get to week 10 and you start seeing Cam, you know what I mean, walking around with that familiar limp that we all know, You really gonna be out here, grinding it out, running the ball up the middle all day? I don't know.
I'm just shocked that we said he wasn't a problem. We only gave up, 75 yards on the ground, but in total, only 230 total all-purpose yards. He only had 155 yard passing, 140 if you knock out the 15 yards lost for sacks. So, I mean, like, if it wasn't for everyone and their mother having at least 30 yards in that backfield, like, you know what I mean? We actually, like, the fact is, the only reason we lost on the offensive side of the ball for them is because of the 217 yards rushing. I mean, like, let's all start to be honest with ourselves. They had 130 more yards on the ground than us, and that was the difference. Even with the interceptions, if you would have limited that ground game, you still would have been in the game. Like, you would have been even closer because all 3 touchdowns came on the ground.
Yep.
They didn't beat us once through the air. They didn't. What was his deepest pass? Was it that 16-yard pass to Julian Edelman?
That one and the one Baker blew.
And the Izzo. But that's a blown
one
coverage,
Baker
right?
blew. Baker did it,
And that's a blown coverage. So they didn't even let alone beat our secondary. They didn't even test them. That's what pisses me off. They didn't even have to test. And you know what? It's because the 217 yards, it's deeper than just getting 217 yards. They took away the whole third quarter by keeping the ball on the ground. We only had the ball for 1 minute and 25 seconds in the third quarter. So if you think about it, our offense was only on the field really for 3 quarters and 1 minute 25 seconds, right? And then we kind of gave them a dose of their own medicine in the fourth quarter when we were keeping the ball on the ground and we were taking time off the clock. But that's the problem with that, letting them establish the run. They established the run and they established clock dominance with the run. And not only did now we have to beat the Patriots, we had to beat the clock, especially in the fourth quarter. And because we had such a slow start, up the creek with no paddle, man.
And you talk about our offense being on the bench for the entirety of the third quarter. I mean, at that point, you have to be highly efficient with the opportunities that you have. And, let's keep it a buck, man.
What's Josh Allen going to do next week?
I mean,
Cam Newton can get 15 for 75 on the ground against us.
I mean, just keep it a buck. And I'm not in the business of giving Ryan Fitzpatrick a pass because we know who he is. But, I mean, to a certain extent, when you don't even really see the field in the entirety of the third quarter and you down over 10 points. I mean, that essentially he's talking about, we had opportunities in the fourth quarter. We didn't play the third quarter. That was the game right there. That was the game. And then, he tries to, he pulls in his bag, the Fitzmagic bag, and, he tried to make it happen the fourth quarter. It looked like a very familiar script when he was, running out the pocket, just pulling it down, trying to get what he can get. But at a certain point, I mean, man, we still got, and we're still, and I think to a certain extent, a lot of people are saying playoff expectations. We are looking at the Dolphins kind of in a preseason mode right now. I don't think they came out offensively with a game plan to go for the jugular. Particularly once Devontae came out, then things just really shrunk up because he was really the only, I would say, the dynamic offensive playmaker we had actually making plays out there. Once he came out, it was just like the air came out the tires basically, and that was it. And then you take on top of that, New England just keeping us off the field for basically the entirety of the third quarter when you're down more than 10 points. That's a death kiss.
Yep.
And just an update for everyone, Joe Burrow is currently 13 of 21 for 89 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He's been sacked 3 times. He has 4 rushes for 28 yards, including a 23-yard rush for a touchdown. And somehow the Bengals are winning 13-6 right now.
Jesus Christ, who are they playing?
The
Chargers.
Oh, the Chargers. I can see why.
And an update for right now.
Justin
the Cardinals are only it's Tyrod Taylor. The Cardinals are only down by 3 points to the San Francisco 49ers. They have the ball. And the Buccaneers, Tom Brady, they're down by 10 points. Our boy O.J. Howard just caught a touchdown. They're down 24-14. Brady has 2 picks already, bro. He's 12. He's 12 of 20 for 119 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and 1 sack.
What?
Wow.
And they've only given Leonard Fournette the ball 3 times.
Hey, Reason, can I say one thing real quick, please? I got one thing to say, y'all. I just want to say, after Dolphin games, man, I get so mad that this team loses, man. I will panic. I just become an emotional wreck, man. I just want us to win, and I just get tired of things coming so hard for us. Like on offense, it seems like everything comes so hard. Like nothing flows easy, and it's just like it breaks me, man. And we constantly give up big chunks of the run game. We got a lockdown secondary, and we still can't stop the damn run. It just crushes me, man. So, and I don't want Tua out there for that, man. But it kills me, man, because I love this team, man. It kills me. That's all I wanted to say, homie. Thank you, man.
Man.
I'm used to this, bro. So it is what it is, bro.
We're all used to this, actually.
It's just killing me, man.
Until they start showing me different, I'll remain to be you. That's why I told everyone when everyone is out here, 10-6, and I know. Shout out to the homie FM. They're gonna dominate the Patriots. We're gonna playoffs. Here we come. When I was like, this is a 7-9, 8-8 team at best. Now y'all have seen day one. Was I lying? No.
Hell no.
I told y'all.
No, the season's not done yet. The season's not over with. Last time I checked. So
it ain't. But there's only 15 games left now, bro.
Yeah, we gotta play Buffalo next week, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. We still got Buffalo, Seattle, Denver, San Fran in our first 7 weeks, bro. Are you for real right now?
What I'm saying is,
bro, this is right now. Don't be shocked. I don't want to hear no crying. I don't want to be catching no tears from you in a bucket if we're 2-5, bro. Because I warned everyone that this is a possibility, bro.
We might have some time.
Let me say this. If we did today against the running game, how are we going to do against Chris Carson in that Seattle offense? If we did today how we did against the running game, how are we going to do against Raheem Mostert in that San Francisco run game, bro?
Well, I'll say this.
You say whatever you want, bro.
Hang on. I'll say this. Just like you don't want me crying, I don't want to see you getting on that bandwagon if we wind up 5-2. I don't want to hear that from you.
Okay. How much you want to
I don't want to hear that from you.
How much money do you got to make a bet on this one right now? Because I'm willing to throw down on that.
I hear you.
I hope you're right, Em.
5-2, bro. What is Texas getting better stuff out there than Canada does to roll up, or what?
I hear you.
Good one.
How you even
listen.
That was a good one, Reason.
I live in a smoke-free environment.
Are you sure?
I live in a smoke-free environment.
Are you sure? Because how you can even propose that after today's performance, I might have you committed. I'm thinking about it, bro.
I live in a smoke-free environment.
Well, then you gotta take the rubber bands off your arm and take the needle out the vein, my friend.
I hear you. That's cute. That's real cute. But I'm just saying, listen, I'm not saying we will be 5-2. I'm just saying I just don't want to hear you trying to hop on that bandwagon.
You ain't gonna. Well, you don't. I don't think
we won't have any room. We don't have any room.
You're not, bro. Room for what, bro? That's gonna be a one-man car you're driving because no one's gonna be on.
I hear you.
Bro, that's going to be smaller than an Austin Mini by the time Week 7 rolls around because it won't be existent, bro.
If y'all make that bet, I hope you lose your money, Reason, on that one.
Listen, like I said,
my money, and I'll take you on that bet too if you want.
Hell no, I want to sue, but hell no, man.
Like I said, it's not time to panic. It's the first game.
Oh no.
We'll see.
But I said the first 8 games. I said the first 8 games for this team on both sides of the ball, because they've had no live snaps, no communication has been set with all these new names for free agency in the draft, that it's going to be a work in progress for the first 8 weeks. And I will stand by that. That's why I said I'm not fully judging this offensive line until the back half of the season. So that's why today they pleasantly surprised me. So
yeah, I mean, but you also, I mean, let's just understand our fan base. I think a good number of our fan base is starting to come to the reality that we may not win the Super Bowl this year. Like, you know, from what I'm hearing,
We're going to win the Super Bowl.
From what I'm hearing, it's like not, you know, and it's like I said before, you know, just because you got the ingredients for gumbo doesn't mean you got gumbo. Yeah, I mean, we've made significant investments. We've apportioned resources where they need to be apportioned to, but to a certain extent, you know, there's a reason why a team like Kansas City can come out, not even skip a beat, just 1, 2, 3, no problem. They've been running what they've been running for a while now, or you know, Kansas City is a bit of an outlier because they have Patrick Mahomes, but just any team that has any type of continuity from last year, or even, you know, 2-3 years, that ain't something this team has. We don't have a lot of continuity left over from last year, from the coaching staff, from the player standpoint, just from training camp, no preseason. I mean, when I say we're in a rebuild, this is what a rebuild looks like. Sure. It ain't all roses, but we just have to have faith that eventually a path will be illuminated and it'll all come together. But just like anything worth waiting for.
Somebody muted.
I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
I said, Dolphin 82, if you're going to keep coming on here with that week 1 Miami Dolphins run defense Wi-Fi, and you're going to keep taking up spots and freezing up, my friend, you need to figure out your issue with your Wi-Fi, because it is a problem right now, my friend. Jazz803 asked, after today's game, $5 donation, do you think Tua will start earlier than you originally thought? No.
I don't think he's gonna throw him to San Francisco, or I don't think he's gonna throw him to Seattle. Like, I mean, the Jets would probably be their most probable landing spot, particularly
or the Bengals.
No, the Jets.
Yeah, at all.
You want the Jets, you want game 1 against the Jets, so then you have the bye week after, so you can clean up any mistakes you made, and then you can come back and face the same defense.
Well, the NFL would love to see that one, that Tua versus Burrow matchup. NFL would love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look like it'd be much today.
Brady looks a little skittish. Today.
Oh, he was yelling.
Looks his age.
He was yelling at Chris Godwin earlier. Chris Godwin got a pass broken up by Malcolm Jenkins, and Brady went to the sideline and was freaking losing it.
I mean, look, it ain't New England anymore, man. Welcome to the NFL. The rest of the players got to live in.
Mm-hmm. He might be getting a little cranky in his old age.
You know, that TB12, you know, he only be eating asparagus and strawberries. So,
yo, guys, I got a question for y'all. All right, so how receivers struggled to get open once Devontae went out? Because Devontae looked like he was going to be on his way to a good game. Mm-hmm. Yo, like, because I'm wondering about Grant, because like he looked good in in training camp, like, but like nobody was getting separation.
Are you surprised? That's what Jakeem Grant does.
Yeah, I guess like a fool, I keep on like giving hope.
He keeps Jakeem Grant's role. It will always be complimentary. You'll never have if we're in a situation where we're deploying Jakeem Grant in a primary role, it's going to be 2 and 14. You know what I mean? So you don't want him in that role. But
Wilson today too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We missed Albert Wilson.
Definitely.
I was trying to see where Matt Collins was on the sideline, bro.
Yeah.
I saw him make a play on special teams.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Almost caused a turnover.
Yeah.
But you know, we got Devontae going down. We need somebody to make a play in that wide receiver core. Where you at, Mac boy?
I mean, you know, it's we need someone to step up in a wide receiver. And luckily, you know, I don't think we're gonna see another secondary like the Patriots until we play them again.
Buffalo's ain't bad.
No, but it ain't New England.
But Buffalo is a zone-based team, though.
True. Yeah, I mean,
they don't deploy. We won't see the heavy deployment of man coverage like we will Detroit or New England or a team like that.
Like I don't think we're lying when other than that field goal drive where Parker and Preston created separation on their two routes. Like 96% of those passes, whether complete or incomplete, were tight window throws today.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Someone asked me earlier, if Rosen had the type of day that Fitz had, you'd be going. I don't think Rosen could have made some of the throws that Fitz was making today in the tight windows.
We wouldn't have been in the game in the fourth quarter if Rosen was there.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have been in the game. We were in the whole game.
I think it goes to be noted that 32 NFL teams had the opportunity to sign him. And he's currently the scout team quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that's still just the facts of the matter. You take the good, you take the bad, you have the fact of life. That's just a fact. So, I mean,
they need to stop, man. They need to stop with this foolishness. I'm hearing other folks too. I'm hearing other folks too on other platforms saying that Rosen would have performed better than Fitz. I tell you, people just showing their aptitude, man, when they make buffoonish statements like that. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Hey, let's be honest. You don't have to have a brain to turn on a mic and turn on a camera, right?
It's ridiculous.
I'm watching Kyler drive right now. Steps up. Look at this guy, man. Just explodes. What?
Hey,
damn! I wanted us to draft him that year, man.
Arizona's up 16-13 right now.
How's Kyler doing?
Bro,
Arizona's up.
He just stepped back. If you tune in right now, you'll see the highlight. He takes a snap. He steps back he's in the shotgun. Steps back about 4 or 5 yards. Steps up. Notices the hole. Goes to the second level. Moves inside. Then kicks it outside. Touchdown for about 30 yards. And now Arizona's beating San Francisco right now.
That's going to be a tough division, man.
Today.
I'm sorry?
How many touchdowns does he have today?
I think that's his first because I think Edmonds had the other one.
Okay.
The running back. Let me check. Because I just switched over from the Chargers just tied up the game.
Thank God.
Parlay. Yeah, I heard Chase Young is showing out today.
Chase Young like a monster.
Tough.
He had a passing touchdown to Chase Young. He has a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown.
Yeah,
total. That D-line had 8
my
sacks.
wife's an Eagles fan. She was screaming her head off at Chase Young all day.
My fiance is a
that
chance,
D-line
man.
had 8 sacks. They had 8 sacks today total. That D-line did.
Nasty.
8.
And then she kept yelling for Jalen Hurts to come in because Carson Wentz kept getting sacked.
I don't think you want that either.
Man,
she's a Jalen Hurts fan, so go figure. And then she stormed out of the house, and I'm like sitting here all bummed. We lost, and she stormed out of the house. Oh man, I'm like, all right.
Man, that's what NFL Week 1 does, man. It breaks up families.
It's real, man. I watched the game with a bunch of Patriots fans at a bar. It was a nightmare. All friends of mine too. Like they gave me the blues, man.
Oh man, that'll do something to you. I remember being up here watching Dolphins games with the Jets fans. Luckily, every time I've seen the Dolphins play the Jets, they didn't lose. But I mean, it's just the arrogance.
Oh yeah. One day our day will come, y'all.
Oh no, we gonna get there.
It'll come.
I don't know when.
We're building the foundation.
It's growing pains. It's growing pains.
That's it.
And you know what? We could lose some next couple games, and then we go play San Fran, and we shock everybody. And
that's typical Dolphin, though. That's typical Dolphin.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah, that is typical Dolphins. You go out here, you get blown out by the Jags, but then you play you know what I mean? Like you play the Patriots tough. You know what I mean? Like
typical Dolphins.
Yeah.
But look, speaking of the Jags, did anybody anticipate them going into Indianapolis and beating them?
Hell no.
They
Nope.
came back too.
Yeah.
No.
Telling you, man, this week one, you're talking about a week one with no preseason, man. This ain't normal. This
And look
whole
how
season
good,
ain't normal.
and look how good Carolina looked today.
Didn't the Bears win too?
And you know what?
Yeah, the Bears came back.
The Bears came back and won, yeah.
And you know what? At one thing I can say again, we were in a position to take the lead in this game. It's not it ain't like we got blew out last year like we did against the Ravens on the first game of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, man, come on, it's not the end of the world. They'll get better. My issue I don't have any major issues on this team except that interior of this team.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
That is a problem.
I don't know if we can fix it this year, y'all. Can we? Can we fix it this year?
They better.
Yo, do we have the personnel to fix it this year? I mean, y'all say we're low on defensive tackles, yeah, because we got rid of Benito Jones, got rid of Jenkins from last year. Only thing we got is Raekwon, Godchild, and
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, do we have the personnel to stop it?
I mean, that's going to be the question I think we're going to ask quite a few times this season.
Flo got to come up with a scheme, man.
Yeah, man. But it's like franchise mode in Madden is easy because you can skip a whole year. We gotta actually we gotta go by reality time. You know what I'm saying? Right. We gotta take this week by week, and just once again, the Dolphins are setting the table to make a lot of progress in the run defense because it can't get much worse than that.
You watching this drive by San Francisco right now, EM?
No, I'm watching Brady.
Jimmy G dropping some in the bucket there.
Brady just almost got picked off, throwing into triple coverage. They just sacked him too.
Yeah, that 43-year-old arm can't make those throws no more, man.
He's 40.
I can't wait to hear Shannon Sharp what he has to say about Brady today.
Oh, yeah.
I mean tomorrow.
Max Kellerman, who I want to hear.
Oh gosh,
he goes in on Brady.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things where, Brady doesn't have anything to prove, particularly when you're talking about championships. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Peyton Manning, he left his comfort zone, went to Denver, was able to do something, although his final season there, he was not good.
At all.
Well, it's just ego with him and Belichick. They're trying to prove that they can win without the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
True. I mean, y'all had so much success. I don't even know why you would even have that contest. But, you're talking about trying to parse together the legacy. Y'all have the equal number of rings. Who cares? Can't no one person take all that credit over 20 years of doing good. Can't no one person take that credit,
I swear that goddamn Aaron Rodgers, bro. That dude's arm is ridiculous, man. He's got to have his arm has to be biotic. I mean, it is ridiculous.
On that great defense, on that good defense, the points they put up.
Yeah, man.
And they're ready to push him out the door for freaking
Joe Burrow.
Jordan Love.
Joe Burrow looks oof. No, but I think they're going to give Jordan Love 2 or 3 years. I don't think they're going to.
All I know is Jordan Love is third on that depth chart right now.
He probably needs it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Burrow almost fumbled. Tried to scramble.
Dude, Minshew was 19 of 20, bro.
Yeah, bro.
19 of 20.
Touchdown, 19 of 20.
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, only one incomplete pass, bro. I think Shark and LaVisca Chenault are the ones who caught, and I forget who the other one was, caught a touchdown from him.
But, you know what? No preseason. He's familiar with the system. He's familiar with the receivers, so he can pick right back up on things. A lot of teams have struggled. They got new systems, new quarterbacks.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
That's been a theme so far today, man.
Hey, man, they about to go up 2 touchdowns on Tampa Bay. The Saints.
What?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I just saw that catch. That was ridiculous. Jared Cook.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. We're at the 2.5 hour mark. Rhino, I see you joined us, but you haven't said a word.
No, I didn't want to interrupt you guys.
Oh, what's
no
good,
way.
bro?
I'm no EM,
Get
but I had my steak and shrimp. I didn't do the lobster.
I see
Balling.
you. I see you. Yeah.
Flossing. I
I see
see
you.
you, Rhino. I see
Yeah,
you.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm not so down, but I think it's because the offensive line. I don't know. There's something there.
I
I'm
agree.
Something
glad
positive.
you're positive,
I
man.
agree.
In a positive way. In a positive way.
Yeah.
Oh,
sick.
I'm down on a lot of stuff, but that's really good, man. We just need to get the defensive line going. We're good, I think.
Damn,
Yeah.
your positivity just made me feel a lot better.
It's Cam, dude. Who the hell saw that coming?
Because but we should have known, like the RPO.
No,
we should have
dude.
known this, man.
He came in on a wheelchair, dude. What the hell happened? This guy's
Hey,
like in great shape.
it looked like he left he looks like he was fitting to leave the field on a wheelchair too.
Yeah.
He didn't walk off that field the same way he walked on it.
It's
We're
true.
going to try to kill him that next game. What are we playing, week 10?
I'm not sure actually, but
No, I think we're
gonna see them again.
Yeah, I'll check real quick.
God, I hope he plays. I hope he's around to play because I want Christian
Week
Wilkins
15.
to break this damn.
Okay. Week 15.
But guys, the worst thing to me, and I don't know if you guys talked about it. Like I said, I was eating dinner. This Parker thing, dude. This has got me spinning.
concerning. I agree.
Yeah, we can't afford injuries to that wide receiver core.
Without him in that lineup, I'm sorry, dude. The entire offense just changes.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a guy that can actually do things against Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah, he was
At the very least, he's occupying him. So instead of having Parker matching up with Gilmore, you got Preston Williams matching up with Gilmore, and then it just trickles down from there.
You see the difference in skill set. You see how Devontae is so easy. I'm not gonna say easily. He's complete. Preston Williams is still a raw player.
Yeah.
He's just getting by off. He's getting by off athleticism. And Gilmore just had him in handcuffs the whole day.
That's true.
But thanks for letting me have my say, reason, and EM. Thank you very much. And there's next week. We'll see what's
family,
up,
bro. What are you talking about? Your family. What are you talking about, Ryan?
I know. Thank you. Just being polite. My mother will get mad at me if I don't.
That's very appreciated.
Wow. And they got a face mask on that too.
Yeah.
What happened?
Emmanuel
Touchdown,
Sanders.
Saints.
Yeah. Saints
Emmanuel
scored.
Sanders. And there was a face mask on the play too.
Damn, I had him on my bench, man.
Yeah.
Bro, I had J.K. Dobbins on my bench in my $50 league today.
I had Aaron Rodgers on my bench.
I'm getting killed in our league. I'm winning in my other league.
So did you say Burrows is looking good or bad? I heard
He's
Burrow
looking like
trash.
Yeah.
Garbage.
That's just not fair. I mean, a rookie with no preseason, man.
Chargers up by 3.
Yeah.
Joe
He
Burrow,
might win
he had a 23-yard touchdown run, but passing the ball and in the pocket, he's been kind of brutal. He almost fumbled the ball. I think they just had another turnover too.
Cleveland is an absolute dumpster fire, bro.
Is it?
Oh
Yeah, they are.
Destroyed.
Oh, that makes me happy, man. That's
What
so
they got
positive.
destroyed. What was
How
it,
long will
34,
Odell
7,
make
6?
I don't know, man.
Depends, how long he's lying on his bed waiting to be.
Oh, there you go. Joe Burrow just threw his first career interception.
Good.
Yeah.
Clap that up.
Hey.
And I'm watching it right now. I'm going back to see it.
Have you seen the commercial with Odell Beckham? Odell in the commercial, they're waiting to get their snacks and stuff, and he's laying in his bed on his back, waiting for a snack. I mean,
I think the Browns will get it together. I just think OBJ needs to get something off his chest first.
That's what I'm saying, man. So my mind went there. I'm like, they did not just do that.
Didn't we hear somebody on? I forget what platform that was on. Somebody said Burrow was like gonna tear it up this year. Come out the gate. Based off somebody said, I forget who it was though.
Oh, you didn't know, man? He's a first round pick. That means he's gonna be an All Pro.
Yeah, he was gonna do so much the first out the gate. Okay.
Isn't his rating higher than Tua's?
Yeah, of course it is.
Well, they're there.
He's like a 79.
Yeah, case closed. He's Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm just watching. I'm watching the drive that led up to the touchdown because I tuned in right after the touchdown. He's got the ball up to their 24-yard line right now on play action, and they're throwing the ball. And now I think this is where the pick comes. So he rolls out to the left. Goes to shovel it to Mixon, and Melvin Ingram is right there and just intercepts it.
You're not in Death Valley no more, Joey. You can't get away with that.
Like he literally rolls out to the left. He sees Mixon there. He goes like that, and Melvin Ingram right there with Mixon the whole time, and just yoink. Thank you.
Wow. I don't know what their fans thought, man, but it's not easy for a rookie to just come in and.
No,
it's difficult.
And you know what? Yeah. You know what? Other than even without Derwin James, that's a pretty good defense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That Chargers defense is very, very good. They added Kenneth Murray. You know what I mean? Like they're a pretty solid defense, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it like this: even though Week 1 for us was disappointing, at least we're not the Browns
or the Jets.
At least we're not the Browns.
Hey, the Jets put up 17 points, bro.
Oh, they did? Because last I saw it was 24-10. They actually did score numbers.
Yeah, they lost by 7.
Oh, okay.
We'll see which defense is better.
27-17.
We'll see which defense is better.
Baker Mayfield is gonna get lit up tomorrow morning on those sports shows. He better turn his phone off, his TV, no radio, no nothing. Because they are going to light him up tomorrow.
I haven't seen anything from that. Look at Kyler Murray. Oh, he should have made that catch, Kirk. All right, let's go through final thoughts, guys, because I got to go say good night to my daughter. Damien, we'll start off with you.
Optimistic about the O-line. Secondary played great. Got to shore up that run defense. Got to, create a better running game, and hopefully Devontae can get better, man. Hopefully Devontae can get better, man.
Rhino Sis.
Even though I'm positive, with a lot of things, I'm not really feeling too positive about next week, but hopefully Flo will come up with a better coaching job and Fitz will be more of a playmaker, and hopefully Parker will be healthy and we'll have a good chance. So fins up.
KA all day. What's good, homie?
What's good? My thoughts are I think we need to have a better coaching job. I think we need to have a better coaching job all 4 quarters, and we got to shore up this run defense, or it's going to be a long, long season. Otherwise, I think we're going to be good.
Agreed. The man in the corner like it's Blair Witch. Havoc 1. What's good?
Yo, I turn the cam on. Can you see me smiling? So
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, this is where coaches make their money. Adjustments.
Agreed.
Adjustments. And clearly, if we come out with the same defensive set, and dare I say we come up with the same defensive starters, man, those are not the adjustments I think we need to make. So at a certain point, we need to all come to a consensus about what Jerome Baker really brings to the table, and place him properly. Because, you look at the stat sheet, you see he gets a ton of tackles, but you look at the game, it's easy to get tackles when you get him blown back 8, 7, 8, 9 yards consistently, game by, play by play. So at the end of the day, man, feels like a rebuild to me. Fins up.
EM, what are your final thoughts, brother, as I watch Kyler Murray continue to make plays with his legs?
Yeah, homie. Listen, us as a fan base, we're all disappointed. You know what I mean? Sitting here, disappointed with how we lost that game today. And I get it. I agree 100%. I'm with you. But at the end of the day, I'm with Rhino. There were some positive things to take from this game. There was. I'm going to go back and look at the film, look at the tape tonight, and probably 2 other times before next Sunday. So there's a lot of positive. There's some positive things to take away from this loss today. And again, we have to take into account who we face today as well. That's a very good defense. Even with all of the players that they lost in free agency, that's a damn good, especially in the secondary. So my biggest concern is the run defense and Devontae Parker's hammy issue. So we'll see. We're gonna be playing. Being reason we're gonna keep everybody informed, and we will be monitoring that situation extremely close. With the upcoming week. So, but at the end of the day, man, listen. It's one game, 15 more to go, and we'll see. Hopefully we'll have that same. We're gonna get better on a week-to-week basis. We should just take this season 1 week at a time to get better. So I think we're gonna do that. So at the end of the day, y'all already know what time it is. All day, every day, baby.
You're muted, Reasons.
Or you
Smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. If you'd like to donate to the channel, paypal.me/Phinside. If you want to become a Phinside the NFL Patreon, patreon.com/Phinside the NFL. And as usual, we'll shout out all of our Patreons. Of course, we got Infinite Trauma and Rhino Sith, the first two Patreons that we had. Then we got Ricketic, Slim Pickens, Miguel Angel Hernandez, Mr. Two Bits, Seth, Ramon Casillas, KL Day, Joe B, Shake Money, and Fake Spike 94.
Shake.
And then, guys, we'll be back either tomorrow. Well, probably not tomorrow night. We'll let y'all do your thing with Monday Night Football, but we'll probably be back Tuesday night, and then we'll be back Wednesday night as well with Neil Driscoll from Pro Football Network, and we'll go over the media day on Wednesday, and we'll also talk all Dolphins with Neil Driscoll. So until then, guys, until next time, it was week one. You're going to have your valleys and your peaks with this offensive line, especially in the first 8 weeks. So it is what it is, guys. We just got to continue to get better. The run game, what can you say? EM was right in his concern with not having enough girth or not having a true nose tackle who can handle the majority of the snaps up that middle. So it is what it is. Hopefully we can continue to improve, and hopefully, especially in the second half, we can start seeing Raekwon be eased in more and see if he can provide some help in the middle there, especially in the run game, which is one of his specialties. But until then, guys, y'all already know what time it is. It's Fins Up all day, every day. And we'll see y'all next time.